Welcome to the beautiful French town of Briançon for the IFSC Lead World Cup. My name is Matt Groom and I am lucky enough to be joined by Alana Yip in the commentary box. Alana, look, you always want to be out on stage, of course, making finals, but we've got a pretty good view here this evening, haven't we?
Yeah, this is not bad at all.
So that is our lead wall here in Briançon, 50 metres high, 50 degrees overhanging in places, and it's a spectacular place to go climbing. The crowd fill the field in front of the stadium, and right now we've got some kids on stage with flags, just doing a little pre-entertainment for us. Alana, looking at the athletes here and looking at the wall, it could be a good competition here this evening.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see all 9 of these athletes on this route. It's going to be an exciting evening.
Exactly. And how did they get there? Well, you're about to find out, because here are the highlights from the semi-finals that took place yesterday evening. Briançon is a classic event. The 50-degree overhanging wall, the focus point for the spectators. The mountains surrounding, a reminder of the climbing available here. The men's route saw lots of athletes fall on or around hold 41, and this led to a real battle for the top places. It was a shame to see Ao Yurikuza fall on the first sequence, a freak mistake that might haunt him for a while. Colin Duffy had interesting stacked knee bar beater that he used to his advantage on his way to a finals place. Luka Potočar was the first to top the route, looking powerful and in control throughout, and he made a spectacular jump to the final hold. He was pushed into second due to countback after Grupper also topped out. As always, he dug deep and used his ridiculous endurance to get the job done. So 9 athletes made it through because of draws. Taisei Homma was out early and did good work for a high point and third. Then comes Alex Megos, Yannick Flohé, Colin Duffy, Shenk, Hamish McArthur, and finally Yoshiyuki Ogata, all separated by countback. The women's route was significantly harder than the one we saw in Chamonix, and it was game on as we saw early falls on tricky sequences. Natsuki Tani came closest to topping, just dropping the final move but qualifying first. Yannick looked set for a top before a final dry fire off the last side pull sent her down. While Chaehyun was looking brilliant. Perfect sequences, and it looked like she would finish, but fell just before Janja. So let's look down on the finals list. Rogora draws with Natalia Grossman on score, separated due to countback. As are Brooke Raboutou and Vita Lukan, who fell on 38+. And finally, Ryu Nakagawa is the last athlete into the final 8 and will climb again tomorrow. Well, that was the semi-finals. 8 women getting through and 9 men, and we'll chat about more about that in a second when we see who's through. In fact, here we go. So let's look at our lists. The women, there's 8 women coming through. Natsuki Tani, super impressive to come out in first position.
Absolutely, yeah, it was great to see her.
Yeah, and Janja Garnbrett, of course, looking for the clean sweep this year. She's won everything so far. Can she get another one here in Briançon? Ryu Nakagawa squeaking in to the final positions. Then Vita Lukan, Brooke Raboutou, Natalia Grossman, Rogora, Chaehyun, Janja Garnbrett, and Natsuki Tani. That is our top 8 for the women. And when we look at the men, well, we've got 9 men in this final. Alana, why have we got 9 men competing tonight?
Well, there were a lot of ties in the men's semifinal, and Yoshiyuki and Hamish tied as well in qualifiers, so they counted back and to qualifiers and then ended up having to take both of them to finals.
Okay, so because they're drawing all the way, presumably if they both top out the route, we're going to have a time situation.
Yes,
here.
but only between the 2 of them, only if they are the 2 that top the route.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that for you guys. Generally, you don't need to worry about it too much. If it starts to become a factor, we will let you know. Now, that is our audience, and boy, are they packed in. And we have the presentation of the athletes right now. So Yoshiyuki Ogata, a fantastic boulderer. and he's doing pretty well on the lead season. Then Hamish McArthur walks onto the stage. Second finals for him last time. Came lower down the order, so that would be an improvement if he can get better than the 7th here tonight. Looking a little bit nervous, as he should, out there on the big stage.
Exciting to see him in his second final in his first World Cup season year.
Yeah.
Season year. That was
definitely
great.
one for the future, isn't he? When we think about Hamish, it's like when we look about Olympics coming up.
Definitely.
He's a contender.
For sure.
That is Philip Shenk from Italy. Good to see him in action. This is his first lead final, so whatever happens to him, he'll be guaranteed a PB. And Colin Duffy, well, we've seen him win this year, so he could podium again here.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would be surprised about that. He looks on top form this year.
Yeah, has that sort of very focused look at his eyes. He only tends to relax when he's won a comp or like he's got onto the podium, and then it sort of breaks a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Yannick Flohé, one of only 2 athletes to make all 4 finals this year. Taisei Homma being the other men in this final. And then Alex Megos looks like he's having a good time.
Yep. Great to see 2 Germans in finals.
2 teammates competing. I know they both got into the river earlier on before getting into ISO, so a bit of cold water.
Yeah. It's brutally hot here in Briançon, so.
Yeah, it really is. The sun dipping now. And there is the other man who's made all the finals, Taisei Homma. He came out early in the semi-finals and once again impressed, setting an early high point.
He seems to do that a lot this year. He comes out early in a round and then does really well.
Yeah, exactly. He's tricked me before because I think, oh, a semi-finals is quite easy, it must be. And then it turns out he's just really good. Luka Potočar, he's out, another finals for him, and he absolutely cruised yesterday's semis, one of 2 to top the men's route. And the other one was him, Jesse Grupper. And you were saying, Alana, I mean, he's a lovely personality had to have here on the scene.
Yes, he's such a sweetheart. I was just saying earlier, he's got a sticker on his water bottle that says, "Yay!" Exclamation mark, climbing! Exclamation mark. And I think that sums him up really well.
It really does, yeah. He is lovely. So he leaves the stage. That is our men introduced to us. Remember, 9 in tonight's final due to count back to semi-final and qualifiers and draws in that. So just a bit more climbing for you here this evening, in case you didn't have enough. Now, this was from earlier on, so you've just seen the men exit the stage. It's not by magic they're coming back on. This is recorded just before the broadcast. And Alana, when you go out onto stage, when you're observing a route, what's the first things that you're looking at when you see a route for the first time?
Well, I try to do, in your observation time, I try to do a couple walkthroughs of the entire route. So the first one, I would look just very quickly up the entire route to see in what direction does it go. Is there anything really big that stands out? Are there some really big volumes? Is there a big gap? So maybe there's a big jump or something. And then I would come, and where does it finish? And then I would come back down to the start and look more specifically at each hold, at the sequence. Make sure I look for clipping holds, because sometimes that can be a big thing, is that you have to do certain draws at certain holds, and if you continue past it, you're kind of in trouble.
Okay, so that is the breakdown from Alana. And it's interesting. I love asking athletes like this because everyone has a different method of doing it a little bit. There's intricacies within it. Well, we saw the men observe the route, and we are seconds away. In fact, where we are in the commentary box, we get a view into the isolation area, so we'll be able to see them coming out onto the stage. Yoshiyuki Ogata, he will be out first because he qualified in last position from the semi-finals to this finals. And then Jesse Grupper.
Well, he tied with Hamish.
Tied with Hamish, you're right, yeah. So both of them.
And I think they just randomize when they're fully tied like that. Or maybe they go by world
It's either world ranking or it's random at that point, and I honestly cannot remember. So one of the 2 anyway.
There's really only 2 options there.
Exactly, it's one of them they've been decided on.
Doesn't really matter.
The start of this men's route, we're looking at it on screen now.
Yeah.
It's a bit tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, those white volumes that you can see, you have to grab them. They look pretty bad, pretty slopey.
Yeah, we saw our Yurikuza fall off the first sequence of moves yesterday in the semi-final. It can happen.
Yeah.
It's horrible to see it, but it can happen, so don't look away. Now, there's a possible spin move in the section we're looking at right now, where there's an option for the athlete to turn out towards the crowd, but it can be done that way, it can be done a different way, and so often we don't see them using that kind of beater. And then from then on, it's pure resistance all the way to the top. No real hard sequence, but everything just getting gradually more difficult as that pump builds. And there we're coming up towards the top of the wall now, and there it is, the top. And if you're new to sport climbing, well, that's your aim, to get to that final hold and clip the quick draw. That's the best score you can get. The higher on the route you get, the more points you get, as every hold has a score attributed to it. So if you get 30, well, you've got to hold number 30. So Yoshiyuki Ogata, he's out first. Now, Alana, I always think of this man as a boulderer, but he is a really good lead climber at the same time as well. And his endurance seems to have improved a lot in the last couple of comps.
Yeah, it seems like he's been doing a good amount of lead training.
Yeah, he's looking fun, he looks dynamic, and he's always very explosive. So easily into the start, gets stood up, makes that first clip, and he is underway into this tricky first sequence because there isn't really any holds here. He's just holding on to those volumes.
Hopefully, as a boulderer, or primarily a boulderer, he should not have too much trouble with this. Usually the starts of routes are meant to make the climbers uncomfortable, and the route setters want the athletes to waste energy.
So that feeling of uncomfortableness, is it just meant to unsettle them a bit?
Yeah,
or?
And makes you overgrip everything, and maybe second guess your movements. You might take longer to do a move that, you know, if you had just done first try, you would have saved a bit of energy.
So Yoshiyuki is through that tricky first sequence, comes up to the first break in the wall, and this is where it becomes...
A little jumpy jump.
Yeah, a little bit of a jump here, so first pressure move.
Woo. No problem for him.
Easy, wasn't it? He set himself up. So it becomes about 50 degrees overhanging in this sequence. You've climbed on this the other day. What does it feel like when you're actually on the wall in his position right now, in that kind of steepness?
Well, if you can see here, he's even more than 50 degrees overhanging. He's like, his head was below his foot. It feels very intense. I got a little, we had a move kind of similar where you were almost sideways upside down, and I felt a little discombobulated.
Yeah, is it disorientating?
Yeah.
Because you know, when you climb on overhanging things, sometimes you get confused about where up is. Oh, big swing from Yoshiyuki. And now this is the move, and he does face the audience. Oh.
Nice little shadow match with the hand and the foot there.
Yeah,
very
the
clean.
Static strength he has to do that.
Yeah.
So Yoshiyuki about halfway up this wall now.
He's looking very calm.
He is looking good at the moment. Drops back down in order to rest. That left hand is not as good as he's making it look, which is usually the case, to be honest, in World Cups.
Yeah.
It's hard to really understand how bad some of these holds are. And I know we get close-ups on it, but remember, he's 50 degrees overhanging. Look at the quick draws, and he's holding on to disgusting things, and it's really hot. So this is a tricky sequence.
Come back.
Oh, bumping that right hand up. Looking for maybe a bit of a knee scrub there. Bumps out onto the dish, cuts loose.
Big move.
This men's route so far, it's a physical one, it looks like.
Looks like he might have just skipped a hold or two, doing that really big move out. Now he's gone back.
So interesting here. Remember, this is the first time we've seen an athlete on this. Now he crosses through. And with all those dynamic moves, of course, you've got to wonder how much he's got left in the tank for the top of this. We know it's a resistance route.
And it, should really just build from here.
Yeah, this is it. Right, let's see how many laps Yoshiyuki Ogata has been doing. Slightly hesitating now.
Allez, come on.
Pops up with the right hand. Tricky foot match.
Oh.
Just in those last few moves, you could see it start to build for him.
Hesitating just a little bit more. And you know, as soon as you cross over onto the head wall, that obviously gets a lot less steep than 50 degrees. The holds get a lot worse.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it now, and it's more overhanging, steeper than like Chamonix, I think.
Yeah.
Quite long as well.
Yes.
So it doesn't let up as much as some walls. Innsbruck kind of lets up near the top, and this thing is, it really looks like it's savage.
Yes. It's just on average steeper than all the other walls, I'd say. 50 degrees feels very overhanging. It's hard to see from the live stream here how overhanging it is, but...
Yeah. Well, keep an eye on the quick draws. That's always a good way. Quick draws and chalk bags. And this is where it starts to get slightly less steep.
Ponytails, if they've got them.
True, yeah. Well, Yoshiyuki Ogata is done. Next up is Hamish McArthur.
All right, let's go, Hamish. He was training with the Canadian team in between Villar and Chamonix for a couple days, so that was really fun to get to hang out with him.
Yeah, he's really lovely. I was actually up with him after Chamonix, and he flashed Digital Crack, which is a very, very famous AA.
Yes, it's a beautiful one.
Stunning one, yeah. He's certainly on form, is Hamish. And look, it's a little interesting stat for you, because if he can make it onto a podium, it'll be the first British male in 28 years to do so.
Whoa.
So he's got a lot of history pressure on him here as he gets going. Only 4 men in history have ever stood on top of a podium for
British
GB.
men.
Yeah, British men.
Yeah.
Yeah, just men in general. Never got up there. So Hamish is on the sloping section. Not the most experienced. I mean, it'd be interesting to see whether a start like this will unsettle him a bit. With no such problems at the moment.
Generally quite a calm climber. Calm and collected, which is pretty impressive for his age.
I mean, he's got an impressive CV already. He was almost a triple world champion last year.
At his first adult competition.
Yeah, he won the juniors, the bouldering and lead, and then came centimetres away from winning the senior lead. So he's got huge potential. Hamish on the sloper with the right hand. And he's pretty easily through that first part. Doesn't seem to be too unsettled by the route setter's tricks.
Oh, he's gonna not clip. Bold.
He is bold,
So
yeah.
you know he's very confident in that when he just goes for the jump, knowing that the holds that he's jumping to have to be better than the ones he's jumping off of.
It's an interesting decision, that one, because it doesn't seem like a particularly difficult clip to make from below because of the extension on it, but...
It's true, which I'm sure the route setters did intentionally. They want you to clip it from below, but...
Yeah, because you must be close to almost hitting the ground if you're going off the top.
Like training with him, he's just very confident. He doesn't, I'm sure he looked at that move and went, I'm not going to fall there, so why bother clipping off a worse hold?
Yeah, that's fair. Well, so Hamish McArthur in confident form as he now rests, gets the quick draw swinging to make it easier to clip. And there's a difference, isn't it? We saw Alex Megos disqualified in Chamonix for weighting it. There's a difference between that and what Hamish did.
Yeah, Hamish just like tapped it so it started to swing. I think Alex's foot slipped and his hand, he actually, obviously put weight into.
Yeah, so you are allowed to touch it, just not load it.
Yeah. And obviously sometimes it's hard to tell. Oh, he's getting into this spin around.
Yeah, that right hand crimp is blocked, so he can't match it. And he does turn, oh no, almost into the wall. Powerful sequence from Hamish, and then gets the heel locked in.
Yeah, that doesn't look like the best heel hook.
No, it doesn't. You gotta say, Hamish is looking pretty good at the moment, but remember, this is one of those routes where it's not about individual sequences necessarily, but it's about executing them perfectly. Hamish all about the heels as he gets another one in.
Starting to look a little more tired. Oh, no.
Oh, snatches. I mean, Alana, you knew he'd made a mistake there. What do you think he did wrong, just by trying to match that volume, or?
No, I could see that he was getting tired. I just saw his elbows go out a little bit, and he had looked so locked in on and precise on every move before, and all of a sudden he hesitated, and you could sort of tell that level of pump where you can't come back from very well had hit him. So
yeah, when the biggest jug in the world won't save you, that kind of a pump.
Yeah.
So Hamish unties. That won't be the high point for him. This was that initial jump he made. Yeah, you're right. It was just full commitment, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's not anything in him thought he was going to fall off that
no,
move.
which is exactly what you want walking up to a jump like that.
I bet a route setter somewhere was getting worried. Look, he tried to get a knee
He
in.
got to get his, I see his foot slipped off a little bit there, but I think what hurt him was trying to go for the knee, actually.
Do you think because to me it looked like he was trying to get that knee because he was getting tired.
Yes, but I think he might have been able to at least get the plus off of it had he not gone for the knee. Going for the knee, it brought his body out right so far, and that's in the opposite direction of the next hold.
So pump And a bit of a mistake from Hamish sent him down. Well, next up is Philipp Shenk. This is his first lead final. He's not had a bad lead season so far. A bit inconsistent, 60th in Villars, 16th in Chamonix. So a bit up and down recently. And now he's in the finals here tonight. So it'll be very interesting to see how he deals with this moment. Something that's hard to practice, walking in front of that kind of a crowd. It's got to feel so special, this moment here for him. His first World Cup, that crowd behind you.
Yeah, and you know, what a place to make your first final. I mean, it's the big ones are either Chamonix or Briançon with the amazing French crowds that come out for these events.
Yeah, and similar to Chamonix, it's a very educated crowd as well. They know climbing.
Yes.
They're not just cheering everything, they're cheering the important bits.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Briançon is really is a climbing town, just like Chamonix, so.
But this is, and Philipp is kind of feeling around because you can see there's not a lot to go on. He is kind of using the back where the volume meets the wall, but he doesn't want to make a mistake here.
Yeah. So, yeah, now you see what I meant, but by the route setters want to make them feel unsettled.
And if it's your first finals as well, a start like that, it's going to start getting into his head a little bit if he can't get it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully he's just able to stay calm, but...
It looks like he has reset and thought about it.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a nervy start from Philipp Shenk, as now he looks more confident coming in. You need a few good moves sometimes, you know, like big boosty moves to sometimes get into the feeling of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Philipp is underway. Slaps some chalk onto his leg. Maybe gives himself a bit of a talking to, and he will continue just underneath the overhang now.
Good. This hold is a good opportunity for him to just reset a little bit and be like, okay, the route starts now.
Yeah, this is
I'm
it.
still okay.
Yeah, because he won't have pumped out. It's a good start.
No,
You
just
can
I'm
stand
sure
there.
the heart is racing a little bit more than he wants it to be at this moment. But I'm really glad he made it through that.
Yes, that was definitely a moment I thought he might not. So Philipp Shenk continues. Will he do the Hamish glory leap? Or hopefully
Glory leap.
the glory leap. Hopefully he'll clip below. Oh, he's not. He's going to do it. All right, here we
just
go.
for it. Nice.
Ah, no, it's not too bad, is it?
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those where, as you said, it's a worse hold from below. You're a bit stretched out, and the jump does look juggy.
Yes.
So Philipp Shenk makes the second clip. He'll rest again here. Keep an eye on the time down on the bottom right. They have 6 minutes in order to climb the route. They have to do it before that runs out. It's 3:50 on the clock. Time is never really a factor. Recently, anyway, we've seen a couple of instances where athletes have come close, but in a final, I haven't seen someone being timed out in a bit.
Right. Did Brooke timed out
Brooke was semis, yeah,
okay.
and Jesse was semis as well.
Okay.
But we will keep an eye on it because he's only a third of the way up, really.
I think it would be really impressive to have enough endurance to time out on this steep of a wall.
Yes. It's a pretty good point. You imagine hanging on for 6 minutes on that.
Oh, no, I think I wouldn't be able to unless it was like 6C.
Yes. Right, so Philipp gets a toe in.
Yeah, come on, Philipp.
Oh, and he's trying to match this, and that's not the way. He goes through.
Big pull there. I think he was just trying to pull on his own arm, which is a smart thing to do when you can't match the hold.
So this is a good battle from Philipp, reading these sequences. He's now got another resting position with that heel. Hamish did a similar thing. Now flicks it to a toe and a heel on the right as he crosses through. And this is where we saw Hamish start to get fatigued.
Yeah, Philipp looks like he just turned up the pace. It's going a lot faster now. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Crosses under.
Oh, what is he grabbing?
Oh. So a two-finger sort of, I don't know what you call it. It's not an undercling, it's not quite a crimp. It's just, I don't know.
It's kind of a bit of both, though.
Yeah, underclinging crimp with two fingers. That's what they're dealing with. So Philipp goes slightly higher than Hamish. Hasn't been, maybe not. 24 on the screen at the moment. We'll see if that changes. But Yoshiyuki Ogata has the high point at the moment with 3 athletes done.
I think that would have been one higher than
I think so too,
Hamish.
yeah. Sometimes it takes a bit of time for that to be processed. So we think Philip might move it up into second. We'll see in a minute. So this was the opening sequence. Oh no, that was the jump. So ignore that low clip.
Ooh, he missed the good part on the left hand, but it just didn't matter. Good enough.
Yeah, then took that long moment to
He's
shake out.
very strong, so. Ooh.
And that was that hold. Wonderful shot there, but oh.
Coming at an underclinging crimp from below.
Yeah, he was low on it as well, wasn't he?
That sounds painful for the finger tendons.
It does. I'm kind of glad he fell off rather than trying to crank on it as he went up. Well, Philip is done. He will go to the edge of the stage and join the rest of the athletes who are on a combination of, if we can just see it here, they're on, there we go, mainly bouldering mats they're sitting on. Okay, so Colin Duffy, don't worry, he is not as nervous as he looks. It's not really, because he looks, that face he has sometimes makes him look like he's terrified. It's not, it's this like intense focus he has.
Yeah, like singular focus, yeah.
Like nothing breaks into his world. It's very interesting to watch. And the second he walked onto stage, focused on the route, air climbing straight away.
Yeah.
2 golds already this year. 1 in bouldering, 1 in lead. Both
At the
from
same
Innsbruck.
competition. Incredible performance by him there.
Not a bad week's work, is it?
Yeah. It was like 3 days, actually.
Yeah, true.
Less than a week.
So he is underway. Colin did some amazing things during the semi-finals, including something I haven't seen in a semi-finals, which he did a stacked knee bar. So he was stacking his own legs on top of each other in order to get the knee bar in, which was...
A little cross-leg knee bar, yeah.
Twice he did it.
Fancy.
Yeah, very fancy. 1 down low, which didn't really work, and 1 up high, which definitely did. Smart climbing from him. No getting tripped up on the opening sequence for Colin. Hands on the slopers, and the temperature in the stadium is pretty good right now.
Oh, other foot than other people did. Oh, he's not. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, interesting.
He didn't put his foot on the big edge like other people did.
Colin clips from down low and then sets himself up for the jump.
Nice.
His core tension kicked in almost immediately. He had his hands on that kind of scorpion backwards a little bit,
but not much.
Yeah, straight away. Colin takes a deep breath, looks at that second clip and just needs to change his hands around in order to make it. So good opportunity for Colin to rest before the next sequence. Thought about using that second hold you can see there, thought better of it. More of a foot really.
Interesting little foot right next to a other big hold.
Yeah, and I think he might have a heel on it now. So this...
No, his heel's in the
it's
big
on the
scoop.
jug.
Oh,
Yeah.
there,
There
that's
we
what you,
go.
okay.
There's logic. So he spins, gets upside down.
There we go. That's the spin we were told was the sequence from the setters.
Colin looking through his legs back at the audience for a second there. And you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, that graphic, that is our current leaderboard. So he needs to get up to the #1 position where Yoshiyuki Ogata currently is.
So they did end up awarding Philip the 26.
Yeah, so he gets bumped into second position. And Hamish down in bronze at the moment. Oh, powerful move that from Colin to reach through to the crimp. And now the crowd get behind him. They know this is really where they have to start digging deep.
Come on, Colin.
Stretches out to the right, and then this sequence Yoshiyuki Ogata had to think about a little bit.
This is the one that Yoshiyuki went straight left all the way to the big circle. And this is this nasty undercling that Philip fell off of. Colin had his feet a lot higher, his body a lot higher, so it didn't look like an issue for him.
So Colin, good at the moment, getting these sequences read well. Now he drops his feet down to the second lower dish. Strange thing that you kind of go up and then drop back down and then carry on up again. A little peak in the middle of the route. Look how small those holds are. This is where the burn starts to come. Colin nears the high point, 32. He's aiming for 34 plus. So he's close. Moves into second position, but he wants more. Oh, drops the cross through.
Same move as Yoshiyuki.
So Colin on 34 at the moment. That might get changed to a plus, possibly.
I think so, or definitely.
And that means he will go into the lead as he qualified in a higher position in this final. So we'll wait for that. So that sequence, certainly one of the higher crux moves. After that, it's not too long to go. Only one more quick draw, but difficult. Difficult moves throughout.
And the climbers will be pretty tired by the time they're there.
Yeah, it's pure.
Looks like just a few moves, but...
But that left hand he gets there, much better than Philip. As you said, higher up.
Yeah.
Philip got it higher. Colin got it perfectly. And then that was the foothold he tried to hold at one point. And then the cross, it looked like he had it.
Yeah. Oh, no, he just kind of missed it. He went a bit high, and then because his fingers slid down to it, his body wasn't perfectly set up to catch it.
I have a feeling it might be difficult to see that, and I don't think there's a tick mark. It's a white volume.
Yeah.
If there is a tick mark.
Right, of course, yeah.
Because both of them have slightly misjudged. The ones who've got to it have slightly misjudged that move.
And it's either that you can't see it or they're quite tired by that point, so it's... yeah.
Yeah, precision when you're exhausted is obviously harder to do.
Or they misjudge how good it is. And if you think it's a little bit better, then, yeah.
Okay, well, that's our first 4 done. And while we have this little pause, we've been talking about Jesse Grupper a lot, and I caught up with him on the qualifying day. So let's hear from Jesse Grupper. I am here with USA's Jesse Grupper. And Jesse, look, I'll be honest, at the beginning of the season, when you burst back into the scene, I did not know who you are. I had to look at your details, talk to people. What an incredible season you're having so far, man.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, it was kind of a surprise. Obviously, I love climbing, love training, but it's so nice to be back out here fighting hard and able to show myself on the circuit.
Well, look, you're making podiums, you're getting medals. Why weren't you around for a while? What happened in those couple of years where we didn't see you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I was still climbing. I think COVID, I wanted to take a step back. After competing in 2019, I kind of wanted to see sort of if there was a way for me to feel more fulfilled in life by not just focusing on myself, but also like kind of working with others as well. So I kind of worked for a little bit. And I think I always just had that spark inside me that said, well, I could always do like a little bit better on the circuit. Wouldn't it be nice to go back out there? So I'm here now.
So it's Innsbruck, you've come back, and you end up getting a medal. I mean, it's outrageous. Talk to me a bit about Innsbruck. How was that comp?
It was incredible. I trained in Innsbruck in 2019, and that was the first time that I kind of got situated to the stadium and the indoor wall as well. And we had been training there for about 2 weeks before the comp. And yeah, I guess competing just felt incredible. The atmosphere was so cool. I love that wall. I love how tall it is, how like flowy the moves are. And it was great to just like be able to feel like myself on the wall and kind of push myself.
Well, look, I love watching you climb because it's always a drama when you're out there on the wall. You're fighting through every sequence. For the rest of the year, we're going to see you at every event and into 2023 as well?
That's my plan right now. Hopefully I don't get injured and I can stay healthy and fit and show myself on these walls.
Awesome. Well, Jesse, best of luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
So that was Jesse Grupper from the qualifying session. He went on, of course, to do well in the semi-finals, and he's climbing last here tonight. Right, Yannick Flohé on the right. One of only 2 athletes to make all 4 finals this year. And you've got to say, Yannick Flohé, the second half of Yannick Flohé's season, from winning that medal in Brixen, he just has not looked back.
Oh, man, it's been incredible to watch him.
He was worried about his endurance. He told me that he was concerned about that. But he does look like he's climbed himself into that kind of fitness. He was so strong at the start and sort of seemed to get away by climbing quickly. And then now we're in this position, it seems like he's got that back a bit, that endurance, that resistance.
Yeah, he's able to have enough training time to sort of, change his style back to a little bit slower, more traditional lead climber. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. He still does those outrageous shoulder moves that we used to be doing.
Oh, he goes other hand to that hold.
All right, so Yannick using something different through that first part. He's on 8. Current leader is Colin Duffy. he got upgraded, as we'd expect, to that 34 plus. So due to count back to semi-finals, he takes the top spot at the moment. So this is climber number 5 out. If you're just joining us, my name is Matt Groom, and I'm here with Alana Yip in the commentary box, pro athlete from Team Canada. She's giving us some excellent insights here into the athlete's mindset. Big jump from Yannick Flohé.
That looks like a fun jump.
Does, in this resting position, it's hard to really get a perspective of it, but he's upside down, just head down towards the stage. And imagine the thousands of people out towards his left watching this. It's a really, really special place to go climbing.
Oh, interesting. He doesn't rest for almost at all there.
No, he doesn't. It's hard to see what he's holding on to with that left hand as well.
Nothing very good.
Nothing very good, no. It's good work by the route setters here, creating this 3D sequence. Oh, look at that. I mean, that's...
Full campus,
yeah.
nice.
Come on, and again. It's a roundabout for Yannick Flohé. That's what he's got, though. He's got that in the tank. He can pull it out, can't he?
Yeah. And that's a move that came originally from bouldering and now has become, I don't know, fairly commonplace on the lead circuit, especially in finals.
Yeah, and I think actually this is one of the best examples I've seen of it, because so often the route setters stick it in and the athletes break the beater. Oh,
there
so
we go. Okay.
flicked around, then got the heel in.
Tried to get his foot up too fast. Is he going to go straight out?
He
Yeah.
is.
Just like Yoshiyuki?
Maybe he read it with him, and it makes sense. They're both very good boulderers together. Maybe they have that similar style.
Yep, yeah. Yeah, I would say they do have a similar style. Very committed.
But in a
Very
similar way for
strong.
Yoshiyuki, he's dropped back down again.
Yeah.
Yannick looking good at the moment. So crosses through, precise, not looking too pumped.
Yeah, it seems very fast too. He's less than 3 minutes, he's already on the head wall. Oh,
Yeah, but this is where you can see. Right, so how much has he got left? Again, a physical sequence.
Okay, come on, Yannick. Okay.
Watch
it
that
together.
leaderboard, he's on 33.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Oh, and makes the cross.
And you see how he did it more statically than the others.
And he'll get the plus
Nice.
for that as well, so 35 for sure.
35 plus should be, yeah.
Should be. So Yannick, that is a good effort from him, coming down, 5th athlete out.
You could see how he just had a little bit more in the tank there than Yoshiyuki and Colin, how he was able to fully lock off that hold 34, I guess, and hit 35 statically rather than dead pointing to 35.
And it looked like to me, it looked like he really committed to the move as well, rather than, but Colin looked like he was a bit tentative on it, and Yannick just absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
So he jumps over Yoshiyuki Ogata, who we saw just then. Gets a clap as well. So Yannick looked good all the way. Didn't need to rest for particularly long here.
No, and I wonder if that's part of his not having quote-unquote enough endurance. He just wants to just go, go, go. I know for me that's part of it. Coming more from a bouldering background is like, I can't stay on the wall for more than maybe 4 minutes, so I just have to climb as fast as I can. Think about a Sean McCall kind of style, if you guys remember that.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I think that would be my style too. Just get it done.
Yeah.
Go. So his teammate, Alex Megos, is out and about. He's in good form, is Alex, at the moment. Did well in semi-finals. Might suit him, this kind of a route, that kind of endless endurance.
I think it will suit him very well. He's very well-known outdoor climber, of course. And that's often what outdoor climbs are more like. It's just endless endurance.
So this could be one for Mr. Megos here. Can he get into the top 3? He's aiming for at least 34 plus.
Ideally, higher.
Ideally higher, yeah, because we've got a few big names to come.
Yes.
Including Jesse Grupper, Taisei, Homma, Luka, Potočar. So 3 to go after Alex.
I saw Alex this past week in the break in between comps in Seiyus.
Looking good.
I actually did not see him climb. I just saw him hiking up. Or just after hiking up when we were all very tired.
That's why he's got the endurance. He's been hiking up a big hill for,
Yeah,
for a couple of days. Yeah, Seiyu's a very famous crag, quite near to Briançon, about an hour and a half drive from here. And then for a while, it had the world's second 9C on it before it got downgraded to 9B+.
Yes.
So a place Alex knows very well because he was the first ascensionist of that route. So he gets the heels in, and now he will begin the traverse sequence here. Oh, beautiful.
Also, full campus through. Very nice.
Sometimes it can just be the way, can't it? Like, obviously you want to try to get your feet on as much as possible, but occasionally it's almost harder.
Yeah, and sometimes you spend more time on the holds by trying to figure out how to get your feet on as well.
So Alex reaches up onto the crimps, then comes out left, gets the heel in. A few people have got a bit confused through this, and he does a similar method.
Oh, he tries to get the knee bar in as well. Realizes it's not going to work. Hopefully he didn't burn too much on that move.
So I think both him and Yannick thought the same thing.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay, Alex goes in left and has a really good... Now this is a classic Alex move, isn't it? That high splits
Yes.
with the heel in. There's been a few memes about that over the years. He's very good at resting in those positions.
Yes, and he's very flexible. It's looking, yeah, quite calm and collected.
He is, isn't he? 2 toes. Then he drops down. Okay, so this is where we have to see how fit Alex is feeling here this evening. It's good so far.
Come on, Alex.
Next volume is where we've had the problems, though.
Okay.
So he is nearing the top 3 now.
Oh!
Nearly dropped it. This is a hard move. He's going to fall going up. So
Ties Yannick.
Another 35+, but he will jump up.
Yes, because he came ahead of Yannick in qualifiers.
So Alex is currently our leader. It's confirmed. With 3 to go, not guaranteed a podium position yet. We'll be able to find out when Taisei Homma comes out. Alex breathing deeply.
But the worst he can do right now is 4th.
True.
Not bad.
It's not bad, no. Best result for a while for him.
Yes.
It's crazy thing, Alex has only actually won 1 World Cup. In my head, he's won a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, he's only got 1.
Which World Cup was that?
Good question. Can't remember. I will find out for you. So that was the move that Alex came down on. And now Taisei Homma is coming out. And he is a man who can pull something pretty special
Yes.
out.
He seems to have almost endless endurance.
He really does. And he's... This sounds like I'm being harsh on him, but I'm not, because it's a style he has, I think. But he looks like he's falling off from quite early on. And then somehow he finds something in him and just grinds through sequences. It's really special to watch because you can see everything he's going through on his face. Well, you can usually anyway. He'll probably climb like, you know, with no expression at all now. But he's a real fighter and it's very fun to watch him climb.
Yeah. He's just trying to put on a good show for everyone. Make everyone catch their breath a little bit.
Yeah, and he pushed Adam Ondra all the way in Chamonix, the only other athlete to get to the final hold.
Yeah.
So he is off and running here, easy through the first sequences. And I cannot wait.
Wow, I like the contrast of his blue uniform and his bright orange harness.
It's good, yeah.
Cool.
I was saying before it started, I think the men's route is aesthetically really good-looking route. I love the green, or the teal and the white together. I know this should make no difference, but I'm pleased with how good it looks. By the way, Alex Megos, his last win was 4 years ago, Briançon in France, 2018.
So here.
Here, exactly.
Yeah.
So could this be number 2 for him?
Yeah, we'll have to see. There's 3 more.
Yeah, exactly. So Taisei rests, and this is another thing he's very good at, is finding these rests. I know this is one that everyone else has got as well, but certainly in Chamonix, the main rest for the men, he used it better than almost anyone else.
Yeah, he does seem very good at utilizing resting positions. Whereas we saw, oh wow, he just grabbed that foothold and everyone else touched it and did not like it.
He touched it twice, in fact. He wanted to reuse it.
Liked it so much?
Yeah.
Let's.
Oh, now that's a hard heel, so he's got to flick his hands out, does remove it, and he wants to match this, which is not the way, and he could be in a bit of trouble here. Oh, because he couldn't readjust the heel, otherwise he would have fallen, couldn't match.
Couldn't readjust the hand very well.
So early drama from Taisei Homma. I told you it'd be good.
Yeah. But as we were saying before, the way he did it was actually probably quote-unquote safer because his feet were on, but he spent longer on every hold trying to figure out how to keep his feet on and keep moving. So it's really, sometimes it's a personal choice you have to make which way you're going to do it. More risky, but less energy, or less risky, more energy.
Yeah. Well, Taisei made his decision, and we'll find out now how much impact it's made.
Well, he just grabbed that nasty undercling crimp, so still looking okay.
He is looking good, looking fresh at the moment, but this is where it really kicks in. He's trying to match that. He does. Okay, so Taisei Homma will come through onto the head wall, so he's in contention at this point.
Drop knee.
Oh, big drop knee. He's tall as well, and he does use holds in a slightly different way from some of the other athletes. Rests again. Right, so this is it. This is the business end. Everyone is separated round about the next sequence. 35 plus for Alex, 35 plus for Yannick, 34 plus for Colin Duffy. That's our top three. Can Taisei Homma make an impact?
Come on, Taisei. So we saw him just rest over the lip there. Nobody else had found that rest.
But now he's starting to fight. Crosses through.
Oh my goodness. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
This is what Taisei Homma does. Look at this. He's still on.
Oh. But we'll end up with the same score as Alex Megos and Yannick Flohé, but end up ahead of them because of countback.
Well, that is the move, and he got his fingertips to it, so we know it's possible. And we've got two athletes who are going to try to prove to us that it is possible. But for the moment, Taisei Homma is in the #1 spot, bumping Alex down. There's a little shake of his head, but that's what I love about Taisei Homma. So he got that left hand in. He looked like he was going to fall off, shaky as anything. Somehow he cranked on that left arm and got fingertips on the next hold.
Yeah. I did not think there was any way when his fingers first touch hold number 35 that he was going to stick that, but incredible.
Yeah, awesome performance from him. So, #1 at the moment says hello to the crowd. He leaves. Let's watch this. That was the jump, which he made look nice and easy. No one having any problems with this. This is the final sequence. So that was it. Look at his, literally just his fingertips on that thing.
Wow. Look at that elbow, too.
And he changed it into almost a closed crimp. And look at the effort. Heck of a fight from him, and he was very close to moving through that. Just too low on it. Well, here's our current leader. As our camera pans round to reveal the crowd on the stage, Luka Potočar walks onto the stage, and wow, is he in form during the semi-final.
Very impressive.
He had a jump at the top that...
the one-handed stick?
Exactly, that one. I'm glad you know it. Yeah, it was a big moment, that one. Okay, so Luka nods to his B-layer. 2 silver medals already. Can he get his first gold? For those in the know, Lukas Potočar has been coming for a while now, always improving, getting better, grinding it out. And it's starting to pay off. Straight in with the heel, gets as much rubber as possible onto that volume. Drills the toe in. And as we know, it can be a bit awkward. That is Team Slovenia watching on. Domin Skofec, Mia Krampel, and the rest behind. And they're nervous through that sequence of early fall of the But he is clean and through. No one falling too early. Hamish down in 7th at the moment. So 25 is the lowest score. Oh, that was awkward. Yeah. Get that left hand very low.
Made it work though.
Yeah, and he's going to set up for the jump.
Whew.
Kicks the feet back in. Okay, so...
Oh, I'm nervous now. Come on, Luka.
Yeah,
Get
if
some back here.
your hands aren't sweating watching this, you're not a proper fan. Luka is stretched out on the wall. That's a good angle to show the overhang that they have to deal with.
You can see the two different options for resting, the way that I think Taisei went with the toe hook up above his head, and then some athletes have also opted to keep their feet low and stay head above their feet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously from looking at it, that looks like the more restful position, but of course, now he switches into the heels. We're not resting. Yeah, it looks better to do it the way he did, but have those heels, they do take a lot of weight off the arms when you get them in.
Yeah.
So this is where Taisei had a few moments, as does he.
He's going to go for keeping the feet on beta.
Yeah, Taisei almost put his heel on his own hand and had a bit of an awkward moment getting it out.
Yeah.
But he's having this match situation as well, and Luka is trying to work it. I think it just feels like an improbable move before you go for it, and then when you go for it, you realize it's in reach. He's going to try, he might try for a big move here.
Totally sure what to do.
No, he's not.
He's going back to keep the heel on beta. Oh no.
Right, so Luka has an issue and he does come down. 18, and the problem is it seemed like he overthought that because he had it all set up to do the moves.
Yeah.
Then changed his mind. By that point, the pump kicked in.
And then he changed his mind back to keep it, Oh no.
I think he knows, doesn't he? Because the thing is, there's only really one way into that sequence. It's not like you've messed it up, and yet when you get there and it feels all wrong, you start to question yourself.
Yeah, you just, in that moment, you have to know, you just be decisive.
Yeah.
It's something that the root setters do intentionally.
Alana, you do a lot of root setting, don't you? Or you're interested in it?
I do a fair amount, yeah. Maybe not during comp season, obviously, but...
Yeah. Is that, for you, is this a future goal to be a root setter for these kind of cups? Once you've, of course, stopped being a brilliant sport climber.
I would love to one day. Yeah. That would be really cool.
There we go. Someone hire Alana Yip immediately once she stops being a brilliant climber. And it is good. I think we do need more women route setters as well coming through, and there's been a lot of debate about that with the women's routes, so it's something I think that needs to improve and hopefully will in the next few years.
I think there's a few women in the junior route setting and the diversity route setting program this year, but we could definitely do with more. More women starting route setting from the ground up.
Yeah, we need to develop things so climbing is changing, upgrading itself, and we'll look for improvements. So Jesse Grupper is taking a long time. He has, I think it's 40 seconds they're allowed before they climb on, so he can take that time. And let's see, Jesse Grupper had a fairly slow climbing in the semi-finals. Remember, he did get timed out in VLARs, so just keep an eye on the clock. We don't think it's really going to be a concern, but worth watching.
Wow, and just like that, we're on our 9th and last climber.
Yeah, it's been quick, isn't it? It's gone fast, coming up to 10 to 9 Central European time. And Jesse Grupper, our final athlete out. So Alex Megos is guaranteed a podium position, as is Taisei Homma. Just which colour will it be? We'll see. Can Jesse Grupper push any of them out of that top three? And Jesse's another one of those who I'm always nervous because he again looks like he's going to fall off and somehow doesn't. Campbell Harrison was my co-commentator yesterday, and he was telling me that he's never seen a lock-off like the lock-off that Jesse can do. It's just like steel, apparently.
Yes, yeah, I would agree with that.
So Jesse rests down low.
Just regrouping after that uncomfortable first sequence.
And he will take his time.
Let's see how he does this next move. Luka opted to get the high left foot like this. Everybody else had the right foot on instead. Oh, come on, Jesse.
Your own elbow kind of gets in the way. Oh, okay, he goes to the slope.
Okay.
That was really quite good what Jesse Grupper just did. Holding the sloper like that with the left hand.
Yeah. He pretty clearly changed his mind in the middle of that move, and he still made it work, so that's good.
Yeah, it fully looked like he was going with the right, but anyway, he gets set up for the jump here. Easy in. Yeah, it looked like he was going with the right, and the last moment brought the left in.
Okay, hopefully he can rest and get some back here.
Jesse looks down at the clock. It's something he has been working on, the speed. He's aware that it's something that he needs to keep in mind, so he's been practicing that.
Yeah, that's good.
So he's got 3:48, and he's a third of the way through. Again, chooses not to rest in that high heel position. And I don't think it's a height thing, because Taisei Homma is tall, and he rested with the heels up.
Maybe it's just a comfort thing, or maybe not feeling like he has the time to rest, or he wants to.
So Jesse giving us some heart attacks here, low. Yeah, that shot showed you why it's difficult. He is matching, wow. Well, he matched his own hand.
I hope he's calmer than I am right now.
No. So Jesse swings through that sequence, some unique stuff going on from him.
Okay, but he made it. He's rested a little bit.
Yeah, into the pocket, into the pinch, crosses
Hopefully
through.
enough.
And this is where Jesse will start to fight.
Come on, Jesse.
Rocks up with a heel, doesn't get trapped into trying that knee bar. Now, which method will he use? Looks like more normal, not dropping it, not going straight left. Thumb engaged as well on that dish, but what's he thinking about here?
Oh.
Okay, that's better. I thought it was about a launch left there.
Looking a little tired. Come on, Jesse.
So Jesse's onto the crimps.
Keep fighting, come on.
1:56 on the clock. Crosses through. Don't panic if you're a Jesse Grupper fan. This is what he does. He just keeps going like this.
I'm panicking.
Yeah, Alana is very twitchy next to me here, as she should be. It's making me nervous. So Jesse bumps up with the right hand.
Come on, Jesse, come on.
Everything is decided in the next few moves here. He's on 33, crosses so slowly, and this is the move. And he's going to pop for it. He's not going to go slowly, and he does stick it. He needs to make the clip, but I don't think he's going to care about it too much at this point.
Come on, Jesse.
He's in the lead. He doesn't know it.
Oh, he might know it by the sound of the crowd.
Yes, I think he will. This will be his first gold medal of the year, of his career, and he comes down. Does he know? I mean, he's happy, and there he goes. I think he's then realised. So, Jesse Grupper, it's been coming for a while, hasn't it?
He must know they're not lowering him.
Yeah, the Vita is keeping him there as he gets to celebrate. That's his teammates who celebrate with him, and Jesse is swinging back and forth. There he is.
That was an incredible fight.
I love this. The Vita is just gradually letting him down, letting him enjoy the moment.
Letting the crowd fully applaud him.
That was really cool. To see Jesse do the things he did during that run and still walk away with victory.
Oh man, I thought he was gonna fall at between the third and fourth quick draw before the jump.
Yeah, that left hand on the sloper was...
And then I thought he was gonna fall at like 2 times during the spin around section.
Well, that was the jump that he made look easy. Springing out, rested in the second method, and then that's what the athletes have had to be matching. Then he matched his own hand in this sequence. And that was, come on, Jesse, yeah, from Hamish. And then this was it. Look, popped to it dynamically. Got way higher up than Taisei did.
Yeah.
And then continued. Looked at the quick draw. It was never going to clip it. Doesn't really need to. And just tried to get as many points as possible. Came down. So Jessie Grupper is your winner here tonight. Team USA has another victory. Alex Megos, Taisei Homma, and Jessie Grupper are our top three. And Jessie can't believe that. Alana, you've got to go and interview him.
Yes.
So I'll say goodbye to you.
Okay.
Good
Goodbye.
luck, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
So Jessie Grupper and the rest lead the stage. Alex Megos gets another medal. Taisei Homma continues his run of form. And Jessie Grupper, what a goal from him, a very popular winner here tonight. He will go and join Alana in the interview area. Hamish and Alex have a little chat. Jessie walks over and Hamish gives him a big hug. These guys have been training together. And you have to say, it couldn't happen to a nicer bloke. Jessie takes his first gold medal. Congratulations all round as our men's final comes to an end. Women will be next. A packed crowd here in the stadium. They started filtering in about 2 hours before we started. Everyone getting a seat on the ground, towels out, a real picnic carnival atmosphere going on here this evening. And surrounding the edges of that field, there's food stalls, brands, people selling climbing equipment. You can imagine the scene, and that is the wall. Well, let's look at the confirmation of the results. Jessie Grupper, 37, his final score. No tops, but a hard route, followed by Taisei Homma in second place. Alex Megos rounds up the podium in third, followed by Yannick Flohé, Colin Duffy, Yoshiyuki Ogata. Him and Colin on 34 plus. Philip Shenk on 27, Hamish McArthur 25, and Luka Potočar 18 plus. 9 athletes in this final, remember, because of count back to semi-finals and draws there. Meant 9 made it through instead of the usual 8. I don't know about you watching at home, but I really enjoyed that one. A good final for the men. And we have the women coming up next. Alex Megos putting in a really good performance for that 35 plus. The reason he didn't get second, because as you can see, Taisei Homma also got 35 plus, is because of that count back rule. In fact, sorry, 3 of them, 35 plus, Yannick Flohé as well. All the athletes getting to the same position. And we are seconds away for our interview. Jessie is just making his way to the side of the stage and over to where Alana is. Awesome work from him. The interviews are just over by the arch on the right where the athletes enter. And that wall, one of the most overhanging in the business in terms of lead comps. Quite an intimidating place to go climbing, actually. With most of these walls, if you stand underneath, you can't see the top, but Briançon just disappears into nothingness above your head. Okay, well, let's go down to Jessie Grupper, who's on the sidelines talking to Alana.
Jessie, that was incredible.
Thank you.
How do you feel?
Oh, still pretty much in shock and super psyched. I feel like that was probably one of the worst climb routes of my life in some ways, but also I was just so psyched to keep fighting through each move, and it felt so good to pull it off, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that's probably one of the best fights on a route I've ever seen. Okay, I was so nervous for you. Can you tell me? I guess let's start from the bottom, kind of, you know, just before the jump, there was that one section where you were on a left undercling, you put your left foot up, and it looked like you were gonna dynamically pop right hand to the hold just before the jump. And then right at the last second, did you change your mind to the...
Yeah, that was a move that we kind of talked about, and some people had different ideas. Some people thought just to go right hand.
Yeah.
Other people thought going left hand. And I was, almost about to move my right hand, and I was like, this doesn't feel quite right. And luckily, I made the right choice. But yeah, definitely a little stress for me, too. So I can imagine watching. It wasn't easy either.
And then the next section you didn't rest all that much after the jump, and then you went straight into a section which some other people did as a campus 360. You tried to keep your foot on and had a couple almost mishaps there. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was the part that I especially think I messed up a lot of the beta in. But yeah, I was super, I don't know, I was very tense and very nervous, but each move I was like, you just have to get this next hold and it'll get better. You just have to go one more move. And I think just having the mentality, I guess, paid off in the end, but it was definitely pretty stressful while I was going about doing it.
For sure. Is there anything that you think about or say to yourself or is going through your head when you're fighting that hard like you were at the top?
Yeah, I think that actually that was a really cool moment for me. Sometimes I'll come off a route and not be thinking about anything or like not get into that fight mode, but I could like kind of tell once I got to this move where I was coming into this like side pull at the top.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a really hard move and you need to stick it. So that's what I focused on, and I just thought about fighting really hard on that move, and I think, yeah, I don't always get into that mode, but I was excited to get there here.
Incredible. Well, congrats again.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
There you go. Great interview from Alana there, talking through those sequences. Well, let's see some of those highlight moments. That was Yoshiyuki Ogata. Came out early on, put in a good performance from him with that bouncy, dynamic style that he's so good at doing. Awesome for him through those moves. And that was the troublesome 34 plus sequence that we saw a lot of athletes fall on. Hamish McArthur, good fight from him. Getting to hold 25. That was where he got sent down. Tried to stick in an E-bar because he was getting pumped. Couldn't make it work. Philip Shenk, his first finals. Great first finals from him. Perhaps a little bit intimidated to start with. A bit nervous down low, but he pulled it back. Started to climb much better once he got that jump locked in. And that was the horrible two-finger undercling crimp thing that he fell on. Colin Duffy was in his normal springy form. Couldn't do enough for a podium here tonight. Good to see him back in another finals. Almost had that final hold, just exploding off it with the fingers. And Yannick Flohé, powerful as always, campused his way through the sequences. Built up some real endurance as well as the physicality that he has. He crossed through. Nearly on that hold that Taisei and Jesse managed to get the furthest on. Alex Megos, well, he won in 2018. Third for him here tonight. Another medal for Alex. And good climbing throughout. Again on that same hold. Taisei helmet, well, what can you say about this man? So much fun to watch climbing. We all thought he was going to fall off long before this. Somehow he cranked through, got fingertips on it, but a little bit too low. And it was Jesse Grupper who unlocked it finally. Luka Potočar. He fell on the cross through, nightmare trying to get the sequence in, and then we've just heard from him, our winner here tonight, Jesse Grupper. And Alana's come and sat next to me. So Alana, obviously, as we suspected, not the most perfect run from Jesse, and yet somehow he managed to pull through to the highest point.
Yeah. What an incredible fight. He just told me, well, obviously you guys heard it too. He was just thinking one more move.
Yeah, it's always quite nice to hear confirmation that an athlete maybe didn't get a sequence right, because sometimes we just think, oh, did they, didn't they? And Jesse's lovely and open and honest with it.
Yes.
But it just shows how good he is. The fact he can have a run that is far from perfect and still get the high point. Very, very strong form at the moment.
Yes. Really cool to see.
Well, we are waiting for our women to come onto the stage, and there they are, following the flags through. Very elaborate introduction to them.
Oh, right through the crowd there. Oh.
We didn't get that, did we?
Rude.
I know. We just had to sneak in through the back. Unbelievable.
I expect that next time.
I definitely do. If anyone's listening, flags, please. So the women immediately start looking up at the routes. They will be introduced. They did get a chance to observe it earlier on, but of course they'll be taking this opportunity to reacquaint themselves with those holds.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, our flag patrol comes all the way around to the side of the stage now, and then I'm guessing they will twist round. Yannick at the back, qualified in second place. Chaehyun looking up at the wall, they all do. Hope they're looking where they're going. Now, a lot has been said, especially after Chamonix, and I want to, well, actually, we'll talk about routes after the athletes have been introduced, because we'll chat about that, but certainly harder routes for the women here tonight. Because there was some criticism in Chamonix that 4 out of 8 women topped out the routes.
Yes.
There's been a lot of talk throughout. We needed to see harder routes, and I think so far that's what we're getting here in Briançon.
Yes. It's pretty classic Briançon to have harder routes in general. Yeah, like you said, much needed after Chamonix.
Absolutely. We want the women to be able to fight. And as I've been saying a lot, although we can sort of criticize route setters and all the rest, it is a very, very difficult job to get right. And of course, they get all the criticism when it doesn't necessarily go 100% to plan. So
yes.
And you do both jobs, you know how difficult it is, and yet you're an athlete and you get equally frustrated when things aren't always correct. You know,
of course. Yeah, but it's not always just the route setters. I think there were a lot of factors around the whole event in Chamonix that made it quite difficult. Quite a difficult environment for the setters. I was just chatting to some of the organizers earlier today. Of course, in the end, a lot of it is on the route setters. Yeah, so we're hoping that they've made the adjustment for this weekend, and so far what we've seen has been positive.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll hope this will be a fight here this evening. Ryo Nakagawa is on stage, as is Vita Lukan. And next out will be Brooke Raboutou onto the stage. Brooke Raboutou and Natalia Grossman have 3 podiums each this year. And Natalia Grossman, of course, had that incredible bouldering season. And Brooke Raboutou, looks like she's getting better and better. Took 1 comp off from the bouldering season to get herself into the lead mindset.
Yeah.
Before Innsbruck. Natalia Grossman comes out. She will be looking forward to getting her teeth stuck into that route. And then Laura Rogora out on stage, really enjoying her league comp so far, her season so far. Battled her way through the bouldering season, occasionally getting frustrated, but you can just see how happy she is to be back on the lead wall.
Yes.
And Chaehyun, possibly Yanya's closest competitor this year.
Probably, yeah.
She came close in Chamonix to beating her. 5 golds, 3 silvers and 2 bronze, and she's only 18, remember. Finally, Janja Garnbret comes out. She's won everything so far in the lead season. Missed the bouldering season apart from the first comp. And she was one of the women who was talking about the routes being too easy and wanting a fight. So we're really hoping that they get that opportunity tonight.
Because what we saw in Innsbruck was, in my opinion, it was incredible to see, such a hard route for the women, and Janja almost topped.
Yeah, it was a statement, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, very much a statement, and I think what we want to see is to see how good Janja is.
Absolutely, and Natsuki Tani is our final athlete. Natsuki Tani is she second in the World Games in Birmingham last week for the lead.
Yeah, she's been traveling a lot.
Yeah, well, this is the thing you forget. There's a whole USA comp last week, so...
Yeah, they went France, USA, France.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Jet setting around. Well, this was earlier on in the evening. The women were observing this route. Interesting to see who's talking to who might be reading certain things. So we get the Slovenian athletes, as you'd expect, together, the Japanese athletes. Laura by herself at the moment. And Natalia, she's taken to doing this. She always writes it down.
Yeah, draws a little map for herself. And
yeah, it's her way of remembering the sequences. Janja chatting it through.
And they've all got binoculars. Try to see the holds closer.
Yeah, there you can see. It is sometimes difficult to spot them all. And so often there's a screw-on or a jib or something that's in a position that unless you spot it, it makes some sequences almost impossible to do. So it's so important.
Yes, and especially some of the higher holds when you're getting more pumped, you want to have an idea before you get there of how good the holds are so that you're not going in completely blind.
Well, this is our women's route as we look at it. No real sort of trap sequences here. It's just it does look quite intense. A lot of those balls that you can see on the route with dual text surfaces. The white is slippy, the black is grippy. And that's the head wall.
It's interesting. It's hard to see how good each of those ball things is, because they look about approximately the same footprint, or a lot of them are, but I'm sure some of them are better than others.
Okay, so maybe experience coming in. If you know the holds, it might give you a bit of an advantage, possibly.
It could, yeah.
We'll have to find out. Ryo Nakagawa will be out first. Then Vita Lukan, Brooke Raboutou, Natalia Grossman, Laura Rogora, Shenk, Yannick and Natsuki Tani will climb last. So that's our order. We've had the men's comp. If you're just joining us, welcome to Briançon. I'm Matt Groom, and I'm here with Alana Yip in the commentary box. We're calling the action for you here this evening, coming up to just past 9 p.m. And the athletes are currently being held behind the wall. There's a little warm-up wall back there. It's not the biggest thing in the world. I think we'd like to see a bigger one at some point. And but there's two warm-up areas, isn't there? There's a gym.
Yes.
Which the athletes get moved to.
5-minute walk away. Yeah. And then a small wall just behind, on the opposite side of the lead wall, just 20 feet away.
Yeah, those last-minute preparations. Sun is set here in Briançon. Those are the mountains that surround it. The town, as you can see, with the castle on top behind. And that's the wall with those flashing lights that looks like an effect that's been put on. They are real.
Ah, and here's Ryu.
Yeah, so Ryu enters the stage. Spotlight now picking her out. It's a bit lighter than that camera shot looks away. It's not quite that dark, so the athletes have got good visibility at the moment. And the audience is sitting back down as we begin the second half of tonight's competition for the women.
It's incredible to see how many people are out in that field watching.
Yeah,
very exciting.
Whole of Briançon here. They've shut the road next to it in one direction.
Yeah.
It's a really big event. And as someone who sat through too many comps without an audience during the COVID times, it's so good to have people back. So Ryu is underway. Let's find out what this women's route is all about, shall we? Lots of dual text areas, got to be precise. And everyone seems to be talking about resting for the women because they find very interesting positions to rest in.
Yes.
I know this is an impossible question to answer, so I apologize in behalf before I answer it.
Okay.
But why other women seem to be so good at breaking sequences, to finding those heel hooks that route setters and other people can't necessarily see? Or is that too an impossible a question to ask?
That's a hard one.
Is it just...
Maybe I would say that the female competitors right now have maybe a different amount of flexibility, mobility, have a different size of bodies, different sizes of boxes that they fit into and like to fit into than the route setters. So they will find these rests which the route setters would never see because they just don't fit into a box that small, or they could never get their heel that high, something like that.
Well, I guess that's the argument for having more women route setters, is that if we have women route setters setting women's routes, we maybe see less of these rests that weren't spotted before.
Potentially, but it's not just, of course, yes, we want more female route setters, period. But I think in general, it's just a more diverse group of route setters rather than everybody being the same, height and the same style of climbing, the same amount of flexibility, the same body type kind of thing. We just want more diversity.
You answered an impossible question very well. That was good. Well, Ryu is underway, and she is coming up to the big overhang here. Quite cruisy through the bottom half, no real problems for her. And now gets a toe, two toes in action underneath. And that crimp, I mean, this is an example. That crimp she's on there has been blocked mainly because of the heel hook potential.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Because you can't get a heel in when there's a block, and she's tried to reach through, re-chalked up, came down.
I think it's a big lock-off move here that she wants to find a way to get a heel up to assist her in that lock off. I think she's found out that she kind of just has to do a big one-arm lock.
Yeah, it's a big crank here coming up, so
Yeah.
not much in the way of feet to help you. That's
Come
what
on,
she
Rio.
has to hold on to. She's still resting, pinching the wall, thumb engaged underneath, drops back down again. And this is going to be sapping her strength here.
Ooh.
Comes out with a left, and then a crazy high heel.
Is she? Oh yeah, there is a small jib that she's heel hooking on there. It's not good.
It's not good.
She must be very good at heel hooks too.
Well, finally, I think that was coming for a while. She spent so long thinking about committing to it.
Yeah. It was good that at least like she fully committed to something. She didn't half commit.
Yeah, puzzled still.
That does look like a very confusing sequence.
Yeah, I mean, it could be one of those that once we see athletes fully just committing and doing it, it might
Just
seem
makes sense.
easier. Yeah, it makes more sense. But yeah, you can see the confusion because she just doesn't have a foot. Didn't really want to go for the leap, finally did. And I think, because it's a slope of what she's going to on the right, or it looks from that angle anyway, it's hard to tell.
Maybe with a small edge on it, but that volume changes the angle of the hold a decent amount. It's hard to tell exactly without touching it, actually.
Yeah, so,
what it's gonna
okay.
feel like.
Well, that's the initial crux, well, so far.
So far.
With one athlete done. But Rio, of course, will be on top of the leaderboard, the only one out. We've got 7 athletes coming up next. Our camera pans around. That flashing light is some kind of an ambulance in the back, but I don't think it's rescuing anyone. I think it's just showing off in the background. So Vita Lukan is out. She's only got 1 medal in Leeds to her name so far, and she's been in and out of finals this year. Was really looking good in Innsbruck. Made it through strongly into the finals.
Yes.
16th in Chamonix, 17th in Villars. So Innsbruck, her best result with that 7th place. And where Natsuki had the issue is where the route starts to traverse to the right. So where the, Ryu, yes, sorry, where Ryu starts out, that's where she had that problem.
Yeah, just a little bit into the overhang.
So Vita, careful with the feet through here.
Yeah, you want to be careful when there's a lot of dual techs around.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could just stand up on the one below you thinking it's part of the volume, and of course it's not, but there she is precise with it. But it's an awkward move because you have to be really close to the wall to not stand on the dual text, on the no text bit.
Yeah.
So she's coming up to where Ryu had the problem. You can see it there, that blocked crimp. Vita is one of those athletes who I feel like will commit to this sequence if she knows what it is. If it's going to be a jump, she'll go for it.
Yes.
So chalking up before it. I think she realizes this is the first crux sequence.
Yeah, this looks powerful to get into that undercling as a Gaston thing.
Yeah, standing back, legs and arms straight. Textbooks of resting position there. Right, so here we go. So she gets the clip in early, is eyeing up
Ay, Vita. Come on.
the hold on the lip, gets it, locks it off. Is she going to go for the big cross through? She looks for a heel as well. There's nothing to be had. That's why it's blocked. Oh, and she drops down. Okay, so this is hard, this sequence. Goes with the left this time.
Also, the
touches the intermediate. She's going to go, and she does. I mean, 2 very different sequences through. Like, Ryu jumped. Vita went for the intermediate.
and tried to lock it off,
Tried to
more or
lock it
less. But doesn't look like there's really any feet there.
No, I mean, she put the heel in on the blocked hold, and of course it's blocked and it's slippery.
And she was kind of standing on the tiny jib. That looks, from where I'm sitting, it looks horrendous.
So interesting. 2 athletes done, both falling in the same position. Don't think we'll have complaints about the route being too easy on this one. Might go the other way. She had to drop back down, and then Hopefully we'll see this heel, because she tried to put the heel in on that left.
Does look like you should keep your right hand on the crimp and commit. Oh, yeah, big crossover commitment move.
Yeah, with the left hand. So what she initially did might be the best sequence, possibly. We've seen two fall using the other way.
Yeah.
All right, but Raboutou, what can you do?
Knowing Brooke a lot.
Yes, exactly. She does that spin at the beginning. I realise this is irrelevant, but she always does that. She faces the audience and spins round.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a cool introduction. It's like, right, here we go.
Yeah.
2 silvers and a bronze for her. Had a good boulder season and then transitioned nicely into the lead season. She was silver medal in Villars, 7th in Innsbruck, 7th in Chamonix. She's underway, so we know by now you have to be careful through this first bit, but it's not too hard.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite as uncomfortable as the men's start was.
Yeah, and then the stopper move, though, comes up.
Woo. Big reach for her.
Yeah, fingertips on. And Brooke is another one who's so good at those heels.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch. That was not a thing when I started climbing, I swear. We didn't do heels
Heel
like
hook?
that. Yeah, like that kind of a heel hook.
Oh, that kind of a heel hook.
You know,
You meant heel hooks in general. When did you start climbing?
Yeah, exactly. 40s. No, those comp style heel hooks, it's very impressive, and it's yeah,
some of these women use their heels like an extension, like a third hand. It's incredible.
Exactly that. Yeah, it's like a hand.
Yeah.
And it's a real technique, and it requires a lot of strength throughout the body.
Yes.
Gone are the days of athletes just doing loads of pull-ups and then calling it a day. You have to train everything nowadays. Whole body in action. All right, so Brooke gets stood up tall. How will she figure this out? If anyone can work out some weird heel hook shenanigans, it's her. High foot and a shake out. She gets ready for this. 4 minutes 20 on the clock, lots of time.
Ooh, nice, the double clip.
Okay.
Efficient.
Yeah, how's she gonna? So we reckon that right hand on the crimp and then cross through with the left.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Brooke takes a long moment to rest and read this. She, of course, will have had an idea coming into it what the move is, but it can change when you're up there on the wall.
Yeah, the feeling can be different. Come on, Brooke.
Well, this is what we think they should do. Right hand and then the big cross through, which she gets.
Yeah.
So Brooke, finally someone through. She moves into the lead. Yeah, you watch her do that, and that makes logical sense. But
yes.
Almost so does the other method, what the other women were trying.
Yes.
So
I think the takeoff position for what the other women were trying seemed a little harder.
Yeah, way more fit, and you have that feet issue because
yes,
the foot isn't there to do that move. So she wraps the heel over that offending hole that caused so many problems early on.
Offending hole.
It is offending. It's done wrong. And
it
now,
wasn't offending to her.
True.
Come on, Brooke.
Does the hand swap. Getting big support from the crowd, as you can hear.
Yeah, and remember, she's only about halfway up this route.
Yeah, there's a lot of climbing to go. And now she's into the pinches. There's a slice of dual text in the middle that doesn't feel very nice if you're sweating. So she makes the clip, and look, that right foot. I don't think it's on the slippy. Oh yeah, there's a screw on it.
Yeah, a jib.
So she hakes out. Now this is what we reckon is the second crux here, because the pinch that made up two holds linked together.
You can just see at the top of the screen there, that one?
Yeah, that one. I think this is going to be tricky.
It doesn't look like a very nice hold.
It doesn't, so she's got it in. Okay, moves through it nicely, and then there's this triple dual tech sequence here. There is a right hand that's available if you need it. She doesn't. Okay, so Brooke Raboutou miles ahead at the moment, 32 her score compared to 18 plus for Vita and Ryu.
Oh, she's got plenty of time too. Minute 40 left.
So Brooke getting big encouragement. You can hear Team USA in the background. Great shot to show how overhanging it is. You can't see that middle part of the wall at all. Again with the heel in, matches to her hand. The dual text just continues forever on this route.
All the same hold.
All the same hold all the way. So into the right hand underclink.
Come on, Brooke.
Slaps out to the left. This could be cool. This could be a top for Brooke, but she's got a hard sequence of moves to come here. Slaps with the left, holds it in.
Wow, that looks hard.
Adjusts 3 times. She's right on the edge here and does go down. Well, she had triple bump with that left hand to try to get it better. But she is miles in the lead at the moment. 41 for Brooke.
Cool, that looked really hard at the top. Hopefully hard enough.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I suddenly felt very nervous about saying it was going to be hard enough because we are only 2 in.
Yeah.
You don't know, do you? Three now, yeah.
But still, it's got 5 left to go.
Yeah, and there's some big names.
Yep. Just have to wait and see.
Yeah, this is it. Well, 5 athletes to go here this evening. Brooke exits the stage, down in the middle with the steps up. And this was her unlocking that first crux move. Crossing through with the left hand there. That was
a cool, committing, powerful little jump there. Yeah, Brooke didn't look very happy when she lowered down and walked off. I think she felt like she had a little bit more.
Yeah, but Brooke hasn't run since the 2018 youth. So she'd love a gold medal.
Yeah. It's a pretty tall order with Janja in the running order.
This is it. I was discussing this with someone the other day. You know, when you have such dominant figures, but then the thing is, you know, if those dominant figures weren't there, there'd be someone else, and it's there's always someone to fill that gap. But yes, in the era of Yannick, Natalia, Grossman, it's a really tricky
Brooke
time to be a woman climber.
Right up there in the lead, but I still think, from what we saw in Innsbruck, Janja is still miles ahead.
Yeah, for sure. She's on a different level.
Yes.
But she was beaten by Natsuki Tani during the semis.
Yes.
So we'll see. Anyway, Natalia Grossman is the athlete here. Now, what a boulder season she had. 5 out of 6 she won. Janja Garnbrett only winning the first one and then moving away from boulder competitions for this year. And Natalia just swooped into that position and she became the dominant one at that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool for her.
Has had a good lead season so far. Villars, she was 3rd. Chamonix 6th. Innsbruck, she was 6th. So no medals so far.
But
oh, sorry,
finals every time.
Villars. Yeah, but
yeah, apart from Villars, yeah.
You're going to read out the medals and say there's none. Oh, Matt. Anyway, yeah, so Natalia's still looking for a silver and a gold.
Ideally just golds, but you know.
Yeah.
If she really wanted the trifecta, I guess.
True. Yeah, now she's had that taste for gold. She can't take anything less. Right, so this is the sequence. Brooke unlocked it. Oh, hello. And that quick draw has flipped the wrong way around, which makes it way more difficult to clip, as you can see. Oh, this is unfortunate here.
Is not her fault. She could call it technical at this point, but I think she's just going to keep climbing.
So Natalia had to flick that around.
But if she keeps climbing, she can't call a technical.
And she jumps, holds it like Brooke does, but that's definitely taken something out of her. That quick draw flipped upside down after Brooke's run. try to get something back here. She did look good through that move, no real hesitation. Once the quick draw was in, and then snatches onto the right, bumps again. And now this is a moment where Natalia will call on that inner calm she has. She's very good at shutting out everything.
Yeah, very good.
So all of her mental strength being tested here. Halfway through this route now, more than halfway. Thought about the toe, but her hand's kind of in the way, then locks it in. This is this tricky pinch sequence. The black shiny thing you can see on the left of your screen, that covers the bolts. Route setter's putting them in where there's the possibility of the athlete standing on them, because that is a possible disqualification if they do that.
Yeah, and if they're just covered in something slippery, you can't stand on it anyway, and nobody wants a disqualification. No. It would be terrible.
I'm waiting for a moment where a route setter starts to use just pure no texture on a hold. It will happen, I think. Well, I've seen it happen a few times.
Yeah, it's happened for sure.
Boulder comps, I've seen a few.
Yeah. It's not fun.
No. Everyone hates a polished hold. Why would you want to climb on them? So Natalia's into this triple sequence, blocked in the middle to stop toe hooks and just make it a bit more complicated. There is that intermediate which she uses, which Brooke didn't.
Oh, Natalia's just missing the jib on the top of that undercling hold.
Oh, true.
Wow, makes it work though.
Yeah, and what a fight this has been for Natalia Grossman. Oh, again, doesn't quite get that quick draw. You can see the arms starting to uncurl. It's awkward when it's there by your hip and low.
Yeah.
Just 3 fingers there, drops the pinky off. So Natalia bumps up. She's into the business end of this now, into second position, going for 41, which was Brooke's score.
Come on, Natalia. Hopefully she's able to get enough back here.
So that's what she has to go. A couple of moves left, and yet, as we know, this is the hardest part coming up. You can see the tick mark screw on the left of that volume. And hopefully she's seen that, remembers it's there. And then a final jump for the top if she can get that far. It's further than it looks on screen, maybe. Oh, I don't know how many meters, 6 or so meters perhaps to go. Gets the toe in, stood up. Is standing near that dual text.
She did. Glad her foot didn't slip off that thing.
Yeah. Whoa. So Natalia in full fight mode here. Eyes up this final part. Needs to bring the left up. 38 into it. This is where Brooke started bumping that left hand. Oh, and she falls.
Same position as Brooke.
So 41, and she will move into number one's position due to count back. So Natalia Grossman in the lead at the moment. And with that flicked draw as well, that was an amazing effort from her.
Yeah.
So as you said, not her fault for that flick draw.
No.
Usually we'd expect the route setter to tweak that before she climbs.
Yeah, it looked like they didn't notice, obviously, before she climbed that the quick draw was flipped around. And what she could have done in that instance was stopped and come down. They made the route setters fix it and then had some time to rest, and then she could have tried again. But if you don't say that right at that moment when it happens, you are not allowed to call it later. If you keep climbing, that's on you.
So she had to make that decision thinking, look, I think I can still do this. I think I can get it flicked around.
Yes.
And it's better to carry on at that point.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the decision Natalia made. And let's look at our leaderboard. She jumps into the, and she's been given a plus now, so 41 plus for her. So jumps ahead of Brooke Raboutou on 41, Vita, Lukan 18, and Ryu Nakagawa, who they both fell on the first crux for the women. 18 plus for them. 4 to go. Laura Rogora, Chaehyun, Yannick and Natsuki Tani will try to snatch that top spot from Natalia Grossman. As we are halfway through. Okay, well, let's go to an interview I did with Chaehyun earlier on during the qualification, shall we?
I got the first place on my qualifying round, and it was just amazing. And it is the hardest route, I think, of this season, and I topped one route. And yes, it was really real fight. For lead, Janja is more my rival, and it's really helped to my climbing improvement, and I really enjoy to fight with her, and yeah, it's just fun. I've been doing lots of bouldering, and it really helps my power part. So my climbing time is more faster than before. So I think it really helps my endurance training. I want to get a gold medal this season. It will be really hard to get between strong climbers, but yeah, I will fight against these strong climbers.
Well, that was Chaehyun. So earlier on this weekend, she'll be out later on this evening to climb after Laura Rogora, who is walking on now onto the stage. She enters that spotlight, you can see.
It definitely looks way darker on the camera than it does in person.
Yeah, it's not quite night here yet. Dusk, I'd say. And there is Laura. She waits to come out. All right, so Laura Rogora walks onto the stage. She loves climbing on these lead routes. Straight away into the air climbing, reminding herself of this. The athletes have been waiting in a sort of tented area behind this stage. And both me and Alana can actually see into that area. It's quite interesting watching what they're all doing, the different things. Janja is sitting very still, very peacefully out there. So Laura is underway into the balls. Careful not to stand on the wrong bit of them. Fingertips again, Brooke did the same thing, right on the edge of the reach.
Very confidently moving through this bottom section.
Has that unique way of lacing her shoes. I haven't seen anyone else do, bringing the laces underneath.
Yeah.
You'd think that you'd stand on them, but obviously not a problem for her. She does always done it.
Yeah, I wonder, like, obviously the laces are very long and her feet are quite narrow, but why she wouldn't just cut the laces?
It's a good question.
Yeah,
It's a very good
interesting.
question. Yeah. Well, she wins, you'll have to ask her.
Yeah. I think maybe I'll go and just not ask her on camera, even if she doesn't win.
Okay, fair enough.
You guys just won't get to know the answer.
Yeah, keep an eye on Alana's social
Until
media.
next time, yeah.
She might let you know.
You'll have to invite me back to hear the answer.
You are
then.
always welcome. So this is the hard bit or the first hard bit for the women.
Yeah, let's see if Laura tries to go left hand or right hand here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So she gets the left foot up, toes underneath. She is looking to go with the right. Okay, so bumps the left hand across, and a big spring and a jump from Laura.
Nice, full commit.
Yeah, full commitment. Yeah, it's that sequence. It does look really quite obvious when you see them do that, but for a long time I just couldn't see that.
Yeah.
So big heel from Laura. Comes into the undercling, will press on that heel. And she's another athlete who really puts on a fight all the way through. Remember in Innsbruck, which was stuck underneath the roof, looking in a bit of trouble.
Yes.
And somehow found something. So high feet for her.
Knee bar there.
Oh yeah, true, that's right. Ah, she's good at finding them as well.
Mm-hmm. She climbs so much outside.
Yeah, I remember her doing a World Cup and then immediately going to climbing 9A like the next day and saying it was her recovery. No, it was the Olympics. She competed in the Olympics and then she flew back and immediately did a 9A, sort of like the day after landing. It's like, come on.
I think she wasn't super stoked with her performance at the Olympics, so it was probably just anger.
True, yeah.
Got her out of the jet lag and...
Yeah. Okay, so Laura is
Come on,
stood
Laura.
up. gets that foot in straight away. Natalia missed it initially and then found it.
Opts for the heel, though, instead of, I think Natalia had the toe.
Yeah. So resting about halfway through. 2 minutes 57 on the clock. See the amount of chalk around that hold that the athletes have touched and readjusted and reset on it.
Yeah, everybody's resting on the same one.
Gets the toe, heel in, toes pointed back towards the ground.
Textbook heel hook.
Yeah, and she doesn't really use that intermediate on the right.
Does find the jib on that undercling, unlike Natalia.
So Laura looking good, setting herself up well for this final couple of moves. That right knee dropped down to the ground. Taking a long moment to get ready. She'll know that the hard bit's coming up. So deep breaths from her as she looks to the next couple of moves, matches these slopers. There's a little bit of a flat spot on them.
Yeah, everybody else so far has rested on this hold, so. But she just rested, so I'm not sure how much she'll utilize this.
She's certainly shaking out on it.
Tiny bit, not much.
Yeah. Gets the heel in again. Okay, so we're a few moves. Look at those elbows, though, coming up. She's really having to push here.
Powerful move out left now.
Yeah, and she's looking away from it at the moment.
Oh.
Can she find something? She doesn't. Slaps and misses. But moves into the bronze medal position. 37 her score. So 37 for Laura. And we have 3 athletes remaining here. Chaehyun, Yannick and Natsuki Tani are our last ones out. Laura, I think, caught an eye on the scoreboard there.
Yeah, doesn't look all that happy.
No, she's always wanting the top spot.
Yes. I mean, everybody does.
Everyone does,
To
but I
be
think
fair.
some are more content, perhaps, to not. And Laura is someone who is definitely not. Like, she
Yes.
wants to win. I know everyone wants to win, but she's, yeah, she has that thing in her that she's very hard on herself sometimes. And
Yes, definitely.
but I think she's been working on that positivity, and you can see it in her body. She kind of tries to walk in with a bit more sort of an up attitude. Okay, Chaehyun is out. We heard from her earlier. She's going from strength to strength. And she exploded onto the climbing scene and beat Janja. Everyone thought she was the next sort of prodigy coming through, and she has started to deliver on that. Was an Olympian, of course.
Is an Olympian. Once an Olympian, always an Olympian.
True. I haven't. She got the tattoo. All the other ones.
I'm not sure.
On their ankles. I would get a tattoo if I was in the Olympics immediately. I get it on the plane on the way back.
I haven't gotten one yet.
Have you not gone? Oh, come on.
I want to, but I went through a whole period last year where I was really doubting myself and my ability, and I didn't feel like I deserved it. But I think I've come around. I think I'm going to get one soon.
Alana, definitely get one. You 100% deserve it and should have one. This time next year, it needs to be there, okay? So Chaehyun is underway. Rocks up on the left toe. Chaehyun is, I really enjoy watching her climb. She paces herself very well. Good use of the feet always.
And very nice transitions in between dynamic and static climbing. It's very elegant to watch.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that move she just did there, it looks like she's just kind of having a walk in the park.
Yes.
Which is an overused cliche, but it's true. She just looks like, it's the kind of footwork that if you're taught how to do it, this is what you should look at, because she does it very, very well.
Yeah.
Into the first hard move, though. She can still get caught out here.
Yeah, we'll see if she hesitates, if she just does it, what happens. It's interesting to watch, Laura, Natalia, Brooke just didn't really hesitate. They got their hand up and, but she hasn't, she's going to clip down.
Now she's clipping, yeah, but not off the best of holds to do that.
Come on. Nice.
Big swing out from her. So, good commitment for Shenk coming through.
Yeah, executed pretty perfectly.
I'm guessing the other women, Ryu and Vita Lukan, who had problems with it, I think they probably knew that that was a possibility, but when they got there, it just felt wrong for them.
Yes, I'm sure. Because they both went and set up for that move and then backed off.
Yeah, so maybe that gut instinct was right, and they didn't go with it.
Potentially,
Yeah, who knows, but that was their mistake. Down low for them. Got them early. And now Shen said, this is where I think you need to be, the cleaner you can be for these sequences, the better chance you have on that head walk.
Yeah. The more energy you can conserve.
She is looking clean at the moment. Really good climbing from her. Massive celebrity in South Korea when we went there for the World Cup. Queues of people trying to get her autograph. Matches underneath, and this is where a lot of people were resting.
She's resting slightly differently here than Laura did, at least. Laura had matched behind on the white and black volume, kind of cupping her hand on the seam of it, whereas Chaehyun is using the other hold.
Yeah, fairly low on it. Cuts loose there and then gets the heel, rocks up on that pinch.
Still looking very calm and...
Yeah, so chill from her. She's just cruising it at the moment. It does, sometimes you don't know when she's getting pumped though. The amount of time she's fallen off and I'm like, oh, that was kind of a surprise to me because I didn't see it coming.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, some climbers are just like that. They don't look like they're fighting at all and then they're just off.
Yeah, so don't look away here. Keep with it. She's in fourth at the moment. Coming towards that top point. Haven't had a top here in the finals yet. One of the men managing it. So crosses through. And out to the left, gets the heel in. Makes the clip. And now, how much has she got in a tank? What can she keep back for these sequences? Laura fell on the move to the left. Touched it, but couldn't hold it. You can see the fingerprints of the athletes before. Oh, she goes right. Doesn't really need that left yet. Now we'll look to the left.
That was the move that Laura fell on.
Yeah. So, and this is where Brooke and Natalia got to.
Oh, getting the foot up looks like key here. Oh, wow.
Gets
That's a
the
toe
toe.
hook. That was a lot of strength needed for that.
Oh, then falls. So Shenk gets closer. She's got the 41. I think that score on the left is slightly wrong because Natalia was 41 plus.
Yeah, should be 42 plus, probably.
Yeah, so wait for that to be updated. There's sometimes a bit of a delay in the update. Anyway, she comes down, no top, but close.
And that will be at worst a bronze medal for her. Because we just got 2 left. Yeah.
So Shenk, another medal for her. Tries to undo that knot. I always think someone should just come and do it. It looks like we've all had that moment where it locks up and you're like, come on, just climbed a World Cup with you. Or someone needs to invent a machine that does it for you. So Shenk is done. Awesome from her. She was showing the route set. And that was the jump, the big swing.
Really nice initiation there. And the full body, the hips, the feet.
Yeah, made it look lovely, and then took a rest after it.
Yeah.
And this was the top part. This is where Laura had the issues. Shenk got the heel in, rested her way through it, and then this final move, so close actually. And then of course you got to set up for another dynamic move after that, so it does build. Okay, Yannick is on.
All right, let's see what she can do with this route.
Yeah, she's not in her usual position of being last out. Maybe that'll take some of the pressure off her. And Janja, something I've noticed about Janja's climbing this year is it's changed a little bit. She used to have a slightly riskier approach, and she seems to have like gone a little bit more static. We don't see all of the flicks that she used to do, especially down low.
I feel like she's got everything to lose. There's almost like, especially when the routes are a little easier, she has to top. And there's not much to win because she's expected to.
Yeah. No, you're right, and I think that's why she stepped it down. I mean, Innsbruck, she knew everyone had fallen.
Yeah.
She knew she had to be careful, and she could make that, adapt her style a bit. And it's still the Janja we know, but it's almost just like a more mature Janja Garnbret this year.
Yeah, it could be. Or there's just different pressures, so we're seeing a different side of her.
Yeah.
You know?
So she crosses through immediately, and I think she will commit to this sequence and jump through it.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain she will commit, yes.
Yeah. When she decides that she's going to go dynamic, boy, does she. The Janja flick that way. She kicks her legs behind her on some, especially the top of some bouldering moves, has become a climbing move. It's iconic. So that is the athletes who've climbed already, and they're all watching Janja now. Second to last athlete out here this evening.
Come on. Oh.
Oh.
Wow. A little more static than some of the others. She was able to do more of a one-arm pull before it.
Yeah, it looked like a scarier way of doing it because she wasn't quite as high on it. And it looked like she had to stretch at that last moment. I think that's why I gasped.
Yeah.
I thought she was going.
It was nice. I think she used like a little more physical strength, but maybe it was a little bit almost safer.
So that's the right hand.
Oof.
Then she unlocks it and crosses through.
I think she's still feeling pretty confident here.
So 3:55, got lots of time, more than halfway.
Yeah.
And this is the first rest. We saw Shenso resting very low. Yannick goes for the more traditional rest, maybe with a high right toe or a heel, depending on who you are. Look at that left. She just dropped down to chalk up on. Oh, and a big flick from her.
Oh, really pulling on that hold that not many other people did.
So Janja climbing it differently, uniquely.
As she does.
She does, yeah. So Janja gets that clip, and now we start. This is where it really comes into things. She's on 30 at the moment, needs to get to 41 plus to take the lead. One athlete to go, of course. Natsuki Tani will be up finally. That blocked hold, you can see, you have to be precise in that slot, which she is at the moment. Blowing the chalk excess off her fingers. And here we go. Let's see if Janja's got some fight here this evening. Long time resting. She's so good at timing. And now, at the perfect moment, she will get going into the underclink. Adjust the feet. You can see the crowd sort of wanting to get excited, but not getting excited yet. And now they start to grow in intensity and loudness as Janja Garnbret comes into the final couple of moves. Got lots of time and is climbing it really well in terms of management. High right foot, looking a really good rest here. Every time she looks down, she checks the clock.
Yeah, there's one on the ground, basically facing up towards the athletes.
So up she comes to the pinches. Here we go.
Come on, Janja.
What can she do? Will she make it another clean sweep here tonight? Can she? Remember, it's not all just down to her. Natsuki Tani as well. And now Janja is really gritting her teeth as she comes through the sequence. This is where we lost Chaehyun So in this next move. Out to the toe. Ooh, thinks about a change in feet. This is risky.
And And there she goes into the lead.
Oh, she's got to redo the feet, and now she's one jump out from topping,
Oh
but
my
she's
goodness.
looking like she might fall here.
Yeah.
High up, using just the volume, fingertip on. And a huge fall down from Yannick. It's not enough for a top, but it is 42, and it is the win at the moment. But Natsuki Tani is out next, and if Natsuki Tani can match her or top, she will take victory.
Yes. I think that was 42 plus for Janja.
Okay.
Definitely a plus. She moved in the direction. Actually, the next hold might not be the top hold. The next hold might be that hold beside the hold that she was grabbing. And in the scores, like to get a plus, you have to move in the direction of the next hold on the route map. We'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
We'll see. Whatever it is, it's good enough for first right now, but we'll have to see what Natsuki can do.
Yeah, because instead of just being one up there are a couple of holds up on that final bit. Well, that was her cut loose down low. Really nicely done. Straight away, got the left foot into the blocked hold. One pinch to go, and cut loose there. Wildly, but held it back. And then found this rest, and I think this was really the key to it. Managed to get a good rest there, and then the final move on that small crimp. Up she goes.
Just not quite, didn't quite have the height on that.
All right, so Natsuki Tani can take it away from Janja Garnbret here this evening. If she gets the same score or tops, she will win. And Janja is in that strange position from her where she has to let someone else, go. She's not all down to her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very often where she doesn't climb last in finals.
So her best is a third bronze medal. Never got a silver, never got a gold for lead. Can she break that here this evening?
She made all the finals this year, right? I think so.
Villars, yep, all the finals so far, yep. So 5th in Innsbruck, 8th in Villars, 5th in Chamonix. And then, of course, that second in the Birmingham World Games last week. So Natsuki Tani, as everyone has been at the end of their reach there on those first couple of holds. Palm on the slope, and this is all just about controlling your heart rate, keeping calm through the bottom. It's not too difficult until the first crux. Into the crimps as Janja watches on, currently sitting in first place with that 42 plus, and there it is confirmed on your screen. So Janja Garnbret 42 plus, Chaehyun 41 plus, Natalia Grossman 41. And Natsuki Tani is into this first committing move. She will have made the decision in her head probably about what she's going to do here. But will have had the flexibility to know when you get there things can change. She is rereading it. So Natsuki Tani matches the crimp, comes out with the right, and now she is going to throw this left. Oh no, she's not. Hello. Right, Natsuki Tani.
Still on. Oh, she's going to go for it again.
Wow, okay. I mean, how is she going to make this work though? Because she's now got a match.
All right. No, she's good.
Wow.
Well, that was cool.
Wow, she's still got on. Look at that. Okay, I mean, look, she made it work, but that looked really high intensity.
Yes. Wow.
Okay, so Natsuki Tani
does... That was the most unique beta that we've seen.
I mean, she must have
move all night.
discussed that, you would have thought, with I mean, her teammate...
With Ryu?
With Ryu, and I know Ryu
never
did something...
went for it.
No, true, she did something totally different, so...
But Ryu adjusted a few times. You would have think that if they had talked about it, maybe it just occurred to her when she was in ISO waiting.
Yeah. It looked quite instinctual to me, but...
Yeah.
I'm not a World Cup climber, so it's hard for me to tell.
That was cool.
That was really cool. I mean, I was just about to launch into my, she goes to the left hand through, and then it was suddenly,
like,
wait a minute, that's her foot. But she now looks a little bit tired, though, as she should be, because that was magic.
She's going to get a chance to rest right here, though. She's good at resting. Oh.
Is, yeah, went up with the click with the left hand, changed it to the right. Wow, just at the very end of the competition, we thought we'd seen it all, we haven't.
Yeah.
What else can she do? I want to see what else she breaks.
What else can she do foot first?
Exactly, why not the whole
See.
thing? Go for it. But she is resting, she will have got something back here. She's got a left heel and a right toe. And another high foot. Cuts loose like Janja did. Interesting how she always kept her leg the right side of that rope there through that sequence. Really smart, so it didn't get in the way. I think she's going to use the intermediate on the right. Oh, she's making the clip.
Still got lots of time.
So the right foot is on a screw on underneath. Hands in this slot, rests again. Now she gets this big drop knee we've seen and easily up onto that jib.
She doesn't look like she's got quite as much in the tank as Janja did at this point.
No, Janja did look fresher. Let's see how much fight Natsuki Tani has here. Oh, she hasn't got the reach. Hasn't got the reach on the dual text. Gets onto the friction section of the route. And now cuts loose and holds it. Reaching with the left. Natsuki Tani, and the last sequence now. Can she get something best? She's got the same rest as Janja did.
Yep. I think most athletes have used this rest, so looks decent.
It does.
Enough. I mean, not actually, but for them.
She's like shaking her hand, trying to get the pump out.
Yeah, aggressive shaking there.
Minute left on the clock. We're leaning forward here in the commentary box. I hope you are at home too, because this is what it's all about.
Coming right down to it.
And she's still sixth as well. This is the thing. It's all about these moves now.
It gets hard in a hurry here for them. Come on, come on, come on.
Oh, she does drop it.
Oh.
Well, Natsuki Tani won't make an impact on that podium. And you had a word with a judge just now. So what's the situation with Brooke Raboutou?
There is an appeal that has not been yet confirmed for Brooke's score to go from 41 to 41 plus, which would move her from 4th into 3rd.
Okay, so there could we could see a change on the podium
We
here.
could see a change, yeah. So we're not sure about that yet.
Okay, so the appeals will be looked at by the judges. This
now we get to rewatch this. So cool.
I mean, I'm very happy she did this, even though it might have been the wrong way, because
I'm so happy she committed to something, and yeah.
How does she make room for a left hand? She's not on anything.
Just that strong.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, it's such an improbable sequence. She made it work brilliantly. That was the stretch, didn't have the height. Had to reset on here. It was a fight all the way for her.
And then just didn't quite get enough reach there.
Down she comes. So we've got the flower ceremony coming up, and then Janja Garnbret, well, another victory for her. And Alana, what are you going to ask Janja Garnbret that hasn't already been asked a million times? It's tricky. So
well, I think you can just wait and see.
Okay. Well,
otherwise, you'll hear it twice.
Luckily, you've got a couple of seconds here because this appeal is still ongoing, as you can see on the top left. So we're obviously waiting for it to be confirmed before we announce the podium positions. Yes. So that will be looking. So
but it won't change our winner. It'll just change our 3rd place.
Exactly, yeah. So it's just that 3rd place position, which will bump her above her teammate. So we'll wait for that confirmation. Now, the appeal process is worth explaining a bit, because once an appeal goes in, it then gets rewatched by the judges.
Yes, on the cameras, the footage that they have.
And they get all the angles, they get to check everything out.
Yes.
And then they have to interpret the rules and make a decision.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done.
Very much so, sometimes. So here what they'll be looking at is if Brooke moved from hold 41 positively in the direction of hold 42. And so I believe now from the scores that everyone kind of did the sequence, except for Janja. Everyone did that top sequence a little bit backwards. So where, okay, this is kind of hard to explain without showing it, but where, say, Brooke and Natalia were totally square to the wall, and Chaehyun were totally square as they went up to that undercling, I think they were supposed to cross left hand over to the hold that's on the more right side,
Well,
like what
Alana,
Janja did.
We're going to get, hopefully we're going to see the top of Brooke's run here, so we're going to
Okay.
get to see this sequence,
Okay.
because it is hard to talk it through without seeing
Yeah,
it. But
so
it's all-
basically I think Janja did the sequence right where she crossed her left hand all the way over to the biggest hold that's just to the right of the massive teal volume there.
Okay. So we're talking about the final section of this route. Let's see this replay here. So this is the last moments of Brooke's climb.
Right, so I think the hold, she is left hand on here. The next hold in the sequence is actually the hold just to the right. I think that's hold, yeah.
Okay, so it could be something to do with the number of the holds, the order of it. Let's watch
Yes.
it again from a different angle.
So did Brooke make positive movement up?
I mean, she...
So the thing is, she was going, the movement she was making was in the direction of the hold next to her, but it wasn't the next hold in the sequence. The next hold in the sequence is actually, I think, the second to last hold.
I'm with you. Okay, so although she made the positive step up, it wasn't in the right direction.
It was like sort of in the right direction, but she definitely wasn't thinking of going for the hold. So,
Well, hang on, we have got the
That's
podium
Natalia.
down. That is Natalia, yeah. So
Okay.
obviously Brooke's appeal was not upheld. Well, there we go. So confirmation of it. Natalia Grossman in third position, Chaehyun second, and Janja Garnbret another victory for her. So another one takes to get another victory. She continues towards her goal of clean sweeping the lead season. Had to leave it in the hands of Natsuki Tani. And Natsuki fell lower down, giving that victory to Janja. So Alana, maybe see you in a bit. I'm go interview Janja. We'll see you in a sec. Wow, what a final, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. Men's comp especially very interesting. The women's a bit of a grind fest. They just had to get through those moves with enough in the tank for the final parts. But what a performance from Natsuki Tani with that crazy foot first sequence out of nowhere there. None of us, certainly me and Alana, had not spotted that. That was the sequence she did, committed to. So we're seconds away from hearing from Janja Garnbret. She's down with Alana now, and we look back up at our wall. The routes on the right, you can see they're not in action for the World Cups. More casual climbing, perhaps, taking place on that vertical wall. And everyone is setting up for the podium in the background. The athletes will come out and get their proper medals in a couple of minutes. And I don't envy Alana yet. What do you ask Janja Garnbret again? Well, we're about to find out. Everything is almost ready down at the front of the stage. So let's go over to Janja.
Okay, congrats, Janja, first of all. Thank you. How did you find this route?
Oh, I was really excited. At the observation, the route looked super cool, and I really enjoyed climbing. Some sequences seemed like tricky at the observation, but then it was all okay, like climbable, and yeah, super nice.
Did you kind of feel the sequences as you got into them?
Yeah, at the observation it felt like a bit sketchy, a bit weird. We didn't know like if you should bump, like heel hook, left, right, especially the top part. It looked like super confusing, but then like it all turned out okay when you were climbing and you could like look at the moves in front of you and just figure it out.
Cool. And the big question, do you think the route was hard enough this time?
I think it was better, I would say.
Better,
yes,
yeah.
Yes. It looked harder at the observation, to be
Yes.
completely honest. It was easier when climbing, but I still think like one did a plus, one did one move more, and yeah, I still think it was okay.
Yeah. Okay, congrats again.
Thank you.
Well, there you go. Thank you to Yannick taking another gold medal. I think it's her 52nd medal. Really cool from Yannick. And of course, I mean, the stats continue. There is that victory, 42 plus for her. It's her 21st World Cup win. She's third in the all-time list of winners. Zheng Kim, 29, and Angie Aita, 25. Impressive stuff from Yannick. Always getting those accolades on accolades. Chaehyun in second place on 41 plus, and Natalia Grossman 41 after that. That appeal from Brooke Raboutou not upheld. She doesn't make it through into the sequence, into the top three. So Yannick with gold, Chaehyun silver, and Natalia Grossman with the bronze. Well, I tell you what, we've seen Janja win a gold, but let's go back in time a little bit. When I spoke to Janja in Chamonix about how her season was going, and there's some pretty interesting insights in that.
I am here with the one and only Janja, who you guys don't need an introduction to. I mean, she's won everything there is to win. Janja, first of all, welcome back to the IFSC season, because you had a bit of a break from bouldering. So first of all, why did you take that break? Because you had Myringin and then that was it.
So the decision to take a break from the World Cups a little bit has been made already at the beginning of the season. And first of all, this is the perfect season to do that. And second of all, Olympics took a big toll on everything, actually, on mentally and physically. So I decided to take a break from comps a little bit, to have a little bit of a chill time and to come back refreshed with a fresher mind and just being in present, just being happy and just climbing.
So your first competition back from that break was Innsbruck, and it was fascinating watching you climb, because all the other women, as you probably knew from backstage, had fallen quite low. When you started the route, you climbed almost cautiously. Was that a very deliberate thing because you knew the route was difficult, or were you just getting yourself back into the comp sort of feeling?
Yeah, definitely. To be honest, at observation, the route didn't look as hard as it was then when actually climbing. And I heard from the backstage definitely that the route is hard because all the climbers were falling down low, and so I was climbing with a little bit of cautious because you never know, like there might be a tricky move or like some weird moves that you didn't see at the observation, but then I realized that the route is hard, and then I was just so happy, and I just enjoyed climbing like all the way up.
It's interesting when you say the route is hard, because you like a challenge, and I know it annoys you a bit when the route isn't up to your sort of standards and isn't difficult. Would you ideally like to see all of the women's routes just raised up to a more difficult level?
Yes, definitely. I would like to see that the routes are challenging, that the routes are hard, because I train to have to show what I trained for. So meaning that the routes should be hard to really see who is the best, because if the routes are easy, you cannot see who is the best. And if like a lot of girls stop it, you cannot see it from that. So I hope that this will change or stay during this season. As I said, for the final route in Innsbruck, I said that this is the best final route I've ever climbed, because it was challenging, it was hard, it had tricky moves. So I said that I hope it stays like this all the season. So we will see tomorrow here in Chamonix. I hope that the routes will get to the next level in terms of difficulty. So far I enjoyed every route.
And final one for me, I know that people think that you don't react to pressure, that you don't get nervous, but you do. And I saw when you topped out the route in Innsbruck and in Villars, the emotion that was on your face. Was it a relief to know that you're still up there, that you're still one of the best in the world?
I wouldn't say it was a relief. It was more that I was just so content, just so present, just taking step by step, just being happy, being there, just like enjoying the climb in front of me. So this was for me always the feeling that I was looking for. But yeah, I do get nervous. I feel the pressure, but I try to like put it aside. I just try to enjoy. I reminded myself like every time I climb to just enjoy and forget about everything. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but that's the game, and I really enjoy it.
Well, Janja, I know you are continuing to be an inspiration to everyone watching. Best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Well, that was Yannick Gambret, and here is the podium. Alana, I'll let you go and enjoy that ceremony and the rest of the performance, but thank you so much for being in the commentary box with me
Of course,
this
it was
evening.
really fun.
Awesome, we welcome back anytime. I'll see you soon, and best of luck with the rest of them.
Thanks, bye.
So there is our podium. Yannick Gambret will stand on the top spot. Natalia Grossman in third position, and Chaehyun in second. It was close to an appeal that didn't go through. And Natalia gets another medal to add to her collection. Rather nice podium there, look at that. I appreciate the woodwork. So our dignitaries are on stage. The medals are there on the right-hand side. You can't see them. But here we go. And once again, the Slovenian national anthem will echo through a climbing stadium as Janja takes a 52nd medal, 21st lead win. How many more accolades can she get? Natalia Grossman is on the bottom spot. Third place for her and a bronze medal. Hang around her neck, and a wooden trophy as well. Maybe it's not wood. There's a bit of wood in there. Bit of bronze going on. Chaehyun gets silver. She continues her run of form at the highest level. She is awarded that medal. Haven't got a World Cup for a while now. Koppler is the next one. August, a bit of a downtime. We have got the European champs coming up. It is, I like that. So silver instead of bronze. Very nice. So presumably Janja will be getting the gold-edged trophy. Up on the top spot once more. Celebrates again. You get the feeling it could have been harder for her. Didn't top out, but came close. And a great victory again for Yannick Gambret. There is the gold as we look at it. And now, once more, we'll wait and listen to the national anthem of Slovenia.
Donc, mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever, s'il vous plaît, pour l'hymne national de la Slovénie.
Victory for Yannick Gambret, silver for Shenk, and bronze for Natalia Grossman. The women will stand on the top spot together. Won't be any flower tossing into the audience because they haven't got any. Don't throw away those trophies. Definitely hurt. Women's podium is done. They'll leave the stage and our men are up next. As we clear the stage for the next set of medalists. The men's route on the left, women's on the right. That's what they took. They climbed earlier on this evening. It's been a packed couple of days. We had the qualies and the semi-finals yesterday. And then the finals today. A bit of downtime in the morning. The athletes were climbing, jumping in the freezing river, or sleeping if you're a finalist. Just having some adjustments there to that awning on the back, making sure everything is tidied away. Looking spick and span. A lot of pressure on that route setter though. Yeah, there he goes, gets the applause. Helps down from the ladder, great performance there from Mr. Route setter. And now the men will enter on the stage. They're lining up on the edge. Jesse Grupper will get his first gold medal. Alex Megos as well, he's ready. Just behind that arch is where they're waiting. Taisei Homma is there too. They're just being organised into the correct positioning. The athletes behind that right arch. And now here we go. I can see him and you're about to too. There we go. The medals are on those trays. The athletes are behind the trays. And Taisei Homma comes out first, followed by Alex Megos. Sorry, Taisei Homma, Jesse Grupper, then Alex Megos. And I would imagine this will be a fairly emotional moment for Jesse Grupper. Really established himself this year as one of the best. Good to see Alex get a medal again. Still a packed crowd here in the field. They've all moved right down to the front to catch a glimpse of the rock stars. Well, here we go, medal time. Alex Megos takes the bronze medal here in Briançon tonight. Man has accomplished many things, both on the comp circuit and the real rock circuit as well. Don't do that, Alex. Although I bet you someone catches it if he does. Taisei Homma gets silver medal here tonight. Another classic performance from him, fighting right until the very end. Same score as Jesse, but Jesse wins due to count back to semi-finals. And finally, Jesse Grupper will receive the last medal of this evening, and it will be gold. The American athlete, his first in the lead.
Representing USA, Jesse Grupper!
Great work from Jesse Grupper. We interviewed him, he was on the show earlier on, and he is now our winner. Fist bumps to the others. Jesse wants them to come and join him on the top spot. Oh, they are as well. Let's break with some tradition, shall we, as he gets a selfie in, all before the national anthem as well. I'm sure there's some kind of deep-seated IFSC rule that says something about this, but who cares? And a selfie to the crowd. Alex gets them to stand up and cheer. Wow, I think we're still going to get our national anthem. Yeah. You stand there, Jesse. You take your moment, enjoy it. Let's hear the national anthem of the USA. Jesse Grupper's smile breaks out across his face as he takes victory in Briançon. A night we will remember for a long time. European champs are going to be next in terms of IFSC style events. And the youth in Dallas, followed by Koppler in Slovenia for Yannick home cup. That's what you got coming up for the next couple of months. Edinburgh, Jakarta, Japan after that. Lots of comp climbing yet to go here in the season as the bats flick across your screens. The men leave the stage and we will say goodbye as well. Thank you for watching here this evening. A brilliant competition with the athletes digging deep all the way. We'll be back on your screen soon. Thank you to Alana Yip for joining me in the commentary box, and I'll see you very soon.